Oh, I knew today was going to be a good day.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I soaped my butt today, I took the bar of soap and was cleaning my butt. My back felt great.
What do you mean? Your back felt great, or like your
Yeah,
butt felt great?
seated position, like soaping my butt, my back felt great. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
it'd be a good day. I forced myself yesterday to take a day off. It was crazy.
What'd that feel like? That's weird.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
You
I
just hung
didn't.
out with the kids all day?
No. By take it, I mean I didn't work out. Like I didn't do anything.
Oh.
I didn't go out of my way to sweat. I don't. Did I sweat yesterday? I did a little gardening, but I didn't do my obligatory assault bike ride.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't have any new content to watch or anything, or what?
No, I did. What's funny? What's crazy? It's so funny you say that because late last night Hiller released that new video and it was like 22 minutes long, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll just go in the garage and watch that and like do some snatches. But I was like, rest is underrated. Yeah, I guess so. It's just so fun to sweat, even just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt good this morning. I was like, oh, I feel good. What's happening is I hurt my shoulders and a little bit. One of my shoulders, is it my right or my left? I don't even know which one because it doesn't hurt now. But so it started making, like when something's hurt, you start focusing on some other shit more. So I've just started squatting a shitload. And I'm like, dude, I better, and doing deadlifts. I'm like, I better chill. I better.
That squat lunge thing, how'd that go for your back?
That was good. That was good.
Really?
Yeah. You know what sucks too is like, I was all proud of myself that I did that. And then my wife did it and she said she made the intervals 3 minutes instead of 4. So that made me look like a douche. Then Taylor told me he did 195 pounds. That's 4 times the weight I did. And then I saw Will Plummer did it with 155 pounds. And now I like hate myself. I might pull the post down. Someone else DM me and they're like, dude, you're not stepping back far enough in your lunges. I'm like, wow.
How about get fucked?
Yeah, what the fuck? That's what it is.
Just be happy that I lunged at all.
Yeah. I put it on Instagram to show off and it backfired.
Yeah. I'm lucky that I can even get below parallel. Okay.
It completely backfired. Someone said my feet were nice. That was, yeah. A Sevi 100-pound dumbbells. I still never snatched. I still didn't snatch the 100-pound dumbbell a couple of years ago.
You have it, and it's just been sitting there staring at you?
No, I got the 80 the group bought me, which I snatched right. I don't even think I've snatched the 80-pound dumbbell in over a year.
Wow. It's been that long, huh?
Yeah. Oh, there he is. There's Greg. Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, sorry, Caleb. That was me.
Good morning,
Good to see you, dude.
Yeah, how are you, man?
Pretty good. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Your feet are nice. That person was blind and drunk. Yeah, probably.
You're going to end up on that page with Taylor Self's feet.
My feet are so flaky. I'm surprised that my body can reproduce. I bet you 80% of my cell division happens in my feet. Oh, that was crazy, Greg. All of a sudden, like your bandwidth, it's like you came out of the Matrix. You look like an Atari like picture when you first came on, and now you're all clear. It went from like 240 to like 4K right before my eyes.
Your voice breaks up a lot in the past 6-7 calls. Is that on my end? It can't be, can it?
When I'm on the podcast or when we talk on the phone?
No, right now on the podcast, like just then.
Oh no, your image, your internet was struggling a little bit.
No, I mean your voice breaks up as often as not.
Oh, how about Caleb? Is it like that for you?
Is it the same for me? Does mine break up at all?
No.
Huh. Does mine break up for you, Caleb?
Right there.
Oh, no, Greg, you've misunderstood that. Sevon struggles with English. I appreciate you blaming the internet for my ESL.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Like I turn into a robot, like a transformer?
He doesn't break up for you? Caleb?
No, I don't hear anything. Sometimes he'll have that weird like robot sound, but he hasn't had it this morning for me at least.
Okay, so the viewers say they can hear me good. Hey, you know what else it might be, Greg? I was thinking you have that. It's not bad at all, but there's a construction vehicle outside, and when it backs up, I wonder if that beeping sound does something to your mic. Do you know what I mean?
Like cuts the audio out.
Like the gain on the mic or something makes it so my audio comes in and out.
Why not Caleb's?
Because he's not allowed to talk.
I get that.
Hey, I was thinking about something this morning. I was listening to a podcast, and it was Rich's podcast, and he said there were 8,000 affiliates left, and I think that that might be accurate because he's been hanging around with a guy who's supposedly trying to buy the company, and so it makes me think that Rich has been like privy to like some documents. And I started thinking about how you used to say that the CrossFit gyms were lifeboats, and we weren't going to get everybody. And I started thinking about the different business models. Like if you're selling M&Ms, all you want to do is keep growing the company, right? Once you have everyone in the country, then you want to get them to make bigger bags of M&Ms and sell them more M&Ms. And I was just thinking about how different that model was when I was at CrossFit. We were never trying to force it down anyone's throat. We were never trying to reach some goal of more. You were never like more affiliates. You know what I mean? It was never like more seminars. It was always like, hey, if we end up with only 1,000, if it ebbs and flows down to 1,000 affiliates and one seminar a week, it is what it is.
Let me explain something.
Yeah.
I didn't want the first one. I allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want the second one. I allowed it. I didn't want the 1,000th. I allowed it. But what I never failed to do was take care of those that were there
Mm-hmm.
to the best of my abilities. And that doesn't include cleaning your toilet, but I can speak to the importance of that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to come into your gym and train for you. I'm not going to tell you that you need to be there a half hour before the first client comes in. I'm not gonna, you know, there's a lot of things that we're just not going to do. And I think that the people that are offering and recommending, promoting, selling business practices, I haven't heard of one of them that I wasn't either peddling the obvious or just full of shit themselves. And what that looks like is the deprofessionalization of the training space, which was the goal initially anyways. And so those that have suggested that the mothership needs to engage in some MBA probably's version of best business practices, that's going to sink the ship. So we had 15,000 affiliates, and in the sale, if the number 112, I think it was off during the period of escrow, and it didn't.
I have so many follow-up questions there, but I want to go back to the point that you never, and I remember you used to deliver this, and it was a little heartbreaking for me. I never got used to it over 10 or 15 years, but you were like, hey, we're never going to save everyone. We're never even going to save most of everyone. That these are just lifeboats that are out there that if people want to come to, there's never going to be, I think the term used, a mass conversion event. It's never going to be like mandatory law to eat like this or move like this. Like so many people in the space, the health space, have those aspirations to make you know what I mean? To make these sweeping changes. Like, let's outlaw this, let's outlaw that, let's force them. You never had that. And now as I get older, I realize that you just weren't delusional.
Yeah, well, I think that the goal of positively impacting everyone is probably the recipe for helping no one anywhere.
Mm.
What you're doing for sure is ignoring the people right in front of you that you can help. So while Nina Teicholz is trying to turn the food pyramid upside down, I got people coming into my place of business that are going to lose 200 pounds in the next year and a half.
And even if they do turn the food pyramid upside down, people are still going to eat all that shit, right?
What we found is that we can, through kind of pop culture, get people to experiment outside of the party line, and it's part of red pilling. Look, anyone that did Atkins knows that the USDA and the FDA are full of shit on nutrition. Every single person that does Atkins, you feel better, you move better, you shit better, you run better, you breathe better, you fuck better, everything's better. Never felt better in your life. And so I'm sure there are people that stayed conflicted by that. I've had auditoriums full of doctors that were actually struggling personally between their lying eyes, empiricism, and their commitment to medicine that they thought was about peer review, standard of care. And I'm there to tell them, listen, you believing something in a peer reviewed journal is not science. That's not what science is about. And you don't have anything that even approaches science without empiricism. So any theory you entertain, I don't care how well it's peer reviewed, I don't care what the fucking p-values are, I don't care how high an impact journal it appears in. If it's contrary to clinical experience, you need to dismiss it. Why? In the name of science. And if you tell me I think it's bad science, I'll know what you mean. I'll know exactly what you mean. We can dissect it and figure out how it went bad. Payoff, stupidity, combination of the two, innocent p-value fuck up.
An example would be you have a cohort of people who just eat meat and vegetables, and they live to 100, and none of them have cardiovascular disease, and yet all the literature is saying if you eat red meat, you're gonna have a heart attack. That would be an example of that.
When you're in the business of influencing people's behaviors, chiefly exercise and nutrition, and where the essence of your strategy, whether it's paleo, Scarsdale, Atkins, zone, pick one, carnivore, intermittent fasting, where it's effective, what they have in common is carbohydrate restriction. Carbohydrate restriction. Look, Sammy Inkinen, what a wonderful story is his. He wins the pro. He's number one in the world masters professional triathlete. Same year gets diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. And they tell him it's all about diet, exercise, and genetics. He says, well, I couldn't possibly eat any better, and there's no way I could do more exercise. He was probably going through 10 pounds of goo a fucking week running, right?
Right.
And it couldn't be better. Well, the PhD physicist that he is, it only takes him a month to come up with it's carbohydrate toxicity. That's what happened to me. He goes paleo, his diabetes goes away. His wife row a boat from San Francisco to Honolulu and set the world record. All with paleo snacks. Picturing sausage and Swiss cheese or some fucking shit.
He did that after he switched his diet?
Yes.
Wow.
Then you know what he did? He founded Virta. And that's the cleverest damn thing. Brian used to refer to it as iPhone Atkins, which is, there's a lot to that, but it's also sells it way short.
Is Virta successful? Are they still around?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's the thing where basically you have a telephone operator keep you accountable for your diet, right?
You've got a continuous glucose monitor, I think, is the deal, and it rats you out. And then someone calls.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad that's successful.
He's cool. They're cool.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
I was asked to open their annual event one year up at our place in the woods where Jobs used to go. What's it called?
Shamanon? Is that Shamanad?
Yeah.
And he was also the founder of Trulia, right? The real estate app.
Yeah, Trulia. Yeah.
Let me go back a second, back away from diet, back to the business thing. There was something Yash said here that I thought was interesting. He said, what did he say? He said the reason why there was, what did he say? It's he said something about it being a monopoly. That CrossFit was a monopoly, and now there's just tons of competitors out there. Let's see, where was that comment? That was a good comment. It was monopolistic competition back then. Now it's a fight for survival. Meaning, there's you got High Rocks, right? And you have F45, and you have Orange Theory, and you have people like basically, you were never threatened by them too. They were never part of your, like in our executive meetings, we never talked about them as a threat or anything.
Well, they're not. The imitators all fall radically short of the mark. They don't have understanding of what gave CrossFit its edge, and even where it's imitative, it just misses it. F45, all of them, Orange Theory, but they're flattering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Yeah.
What my point is, my big picture point is, what I was thinking about is that I don't think a lot of people understood, and I don't mean to put, I'm going to put words in your mouth, but feel free to change it. You basically, you would say, hey, I didn't invent anything. But basically I have the truth, and here's the truth, and I'm going to share it with the world. And you shared it freely and openly. And I just don't think a lot of people grasp that. And even I forget that sometimes, because it's so easy to get caught up into like, hey, are you trying to grow this thing? You were more like prophesying the truth. And that's why when I started thinking about people saying CrossFit's dying or it's shrinking, but in your mind, it never seemed like any of that shit mattered as long as you could keep sharing the truth. And I just don't think a lot of people get that, how you operated.
That's
a fair characterization.
There's no gym on earth that I couldn't open a gym across the street and inflict serious damage on the bottom line. No gym on earth. I don't care if that's mayhem. I pick your fucking gym. I would go across the street and inflict serious damage on the bottom line. Promise it.
Caleb, it was proselytize. Damn, that convert or attempt to convert. Not that that's what you were doing.
I told Craig Patterson once that if none of this worked and we all went broke, and in order to feed ourselves, we had to be work at McDonald's. I told him I would teach you how to do a snatch with the broom in the parking lot while we were supposed to be cleaning up.
Mm.
It's just kind of who I am. I'm a natural coach and natural teacher. I like chewing on things that are difficult to chew on, and maybe way less so for other people. But then to turn around and see if I can't shorten the time that you have the same awareness. And I can do that generally better than the person who gobbled it down quicker.
Brooke, good morning. Hi, thank you. Beautiful daughters. Congrats on the family.
You get that? So
yeah.
I have a talent that's in the teaching. Calculus didn't come easy for me, but you know what I did? I made a few attempts until I got it down perfectly, and then went immediately to tutoring it and then teaching it. Where there was nothing like that experience. By the time you're in your third year of tutoring Calculus 3, someone comes in with the Thomas book and you know where they are because it's November. You know what I mean? And they pop open the book and you know all those problems. It gives you it gives you an uncanny capacity to be able to do a problem in minutes that the first time you saw it took you hours. And it's only it's kind of cheating, right? but it's what knowing something looks like.
Did anyone ever? I'm not saying this to pick on Mark Twight, but Mark Twight's Jim Jones, was it I'm just trying to figure out why didn't anyone exactly copy CrossFit? By that I mean it was the fastest growing chain in world history. Spread to all 7 continents. There was even a gym you had on Antarctica. Why? What made some people think that they could do it better, or why not directly copy it? Like why? You weren't guarding anything but the name. Like why not? Like where did F45 and Orange Theory miss the mark? Or then they came out with that thing called the bar. Like your nutrition information, it wasn't like it was proprietary.
No, but look, we're talking about affiliation, I believe, and I established a thing that I would participate in. I offered a seminar that I would have paid for. I was giving information that I wish someone had shared with me 20 years prior. And that was it. And so I'd look around at Orange Theory and I assume that all the people are wearing orange shirts and shit, like orange polo shirts.
Yeah, that's what I assume. I haven't been in one, but I assume
and there's a haircut standard and language issues, and you're probably told, no. Not saying it's a bad thing. Hey, I thought, what was it called? Curves?
Curves, yeah.
Curves.
I thought that was pretty cool. And I'll tell you this, I know it for a fucking fact, it works. So I've never been in one, but my understanding was it was proprietary equipment, and they were basically large movement pin selectorized machines, and then they had music, and you'd rotate musical chairs with the equipment, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too. Circuit, like an hour, and you switch machine every 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's etc.
Yeah,
and they had different programs in it, and then I go, well, carb restriction. Oh yeah, they teach that too. And I'm like, well, that's better than what's going on at Gold's.
Right.
It was funny that
Curves was for women only.
Yeah.
No wonder they wouldn't let me in.
What were you going to say? Were you going to tell a story about Gold's? Were you going to say something?
No. Oh, the Wall Street Journal, Curves had a huge hiccup, and there was I forget all the details, but I'm reading along, an industry analyst, blah 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 blah. But their founder says it was the shift that came from a training class to a business class. And I'm like, I promise you, that'll be the death knell.
The owners.
Yeah. It's the idea that I think this is really cool. I did Curves and I lost 50 pounds. And I feel better, and you talk your husband into going in with you on getting one of these little franchises, and we get the machines, and you're into it. You like the effect, you like the impact. You're a natural trainer, and someone's giving you a platform and a vehicle for success for impacting people positively. Hey, listen, if let's talk about Richard Simmons, the late Richard Simmons. If you think he didn't have a positive impact on people, you're an idiot. You're an asshole.
Right.
Was he fruity? Sure, whatever. Who cares?
Right.
Lots of people lost lots and lots of weight. Good for him.
We would watch his shows.
He had more to be proud of than would almost any physician in any strip mall. Sorry, y'all.
No, do you remember that suit he would wear that had all the veins and arteries on it, and then you would watch it as a little kid and learn about the veins and arteries?
You know what? I was never a fan. I just appreciated the impact and the tearful testimonials of people that had the transformation. And I think I would have worked with the same people and had I get a different style.
So did you know that when you say that about curves and that it was sold from I forget what the first class was, but to a business class, did you know that was that's the path that CrossFit's on
Oh, well,
when you sold it?
yeah, of course. Of course. What's amazing to me is that they haven't used venture capital to make the move on Bill and Katie. That's weird to me, even.
Well, they probably have, right? Oh, I see what you mean. You mean to start competing with them?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't look like that though.
It wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure they've tried to. I'm sure venture capital's tried to buy Rogue, right?
Yeah.
You don't think it would look like that? You don't think that they would?
I've got a list of things that it was widely regarded in the venture capital and MBA community that were powerful evidence of me not knowing what I was doing. And in fact, the Harvard case study, I was there every year for 7 years, and that was really the tone of it. That was really the tenor of it. Look at the way this guy does things, and it built around the Anthos case for sure. But and then I'd have several hours and what would happen? I'd flip them, right? Show them the lease rents model. I don't know if you remember that, but
of course I do. Of course I do. I can remember where I first heard it in Del Mar on the whiteboard in the dining room.
It was a brilliant plan, and it worked. But it was also consistent with where we could make our best contribution, which is to stay relevant to the affiliates.
Why are all these smart people not like, hey, under Greg's leadership, this thing rose to 15,000 gyms, trying to figure out what you did? Like, every Tom, Dick, and Harry says that they can do it better, or that the business outgrew Greg. Why don't they be like, well, shit, it's half the size it was when he ran it. The games is half the size. The seminars are 1/5 the size. The open registrations, why wouldn't someone be? Why do people think that they could do it better when the most successful time was when you were at the helm? Why doesn't someone come to you and be like, hey, Greg, what are the 5 things we need to do to turn this thing around?
I'll make an argument for the business outgrowing me.
Yeah.
I could liken CrossFit to what was once a healthy guy became a healthy guy with a 65-pound tumor hanging off the side of his fucking head. And to complete the analogy here, that tumor would be the games.
Right. Well, there's one thing.
Its contribution to the overarching, overwhelming purpose derived from running a box, they contributed nothing to that. Nothing. There was nothing at the games that was going to make it easy for me to lure the lady that works at the Jack in a Box that's 100 pounds overweight into the gym. There was nothing that was happening that was going to give me ideas on how to manage her when she shows up, with 2 canes. Nothing. And I could go on and on like this. It was largely irrelevant to the primary mission of every successful affiliate.
I think more specifically, when you started CrossFit, obviously it coincided perfectly with the explosion of the internet, right? And so CrossFit the message was able to spread very quickly. And I think then the second evolution of the internet, when people got their own voices, I think that was a huge problem for CrossFit. Not so much the games itself, but that there was a disproportionate voice coming from the people who were successful at the games. and they clearly and still to this day don't have no idea what CrossFit is. And so they started having say at the adult table, and I think that confused a lot of people.
Between 2000 and 2020, it's my sense of things, and I would think this would be really easy to bear out. But my sense of things is that the intellectual capacity of the average American fell hard and fast like it never has before.
What years? Tell me what years?
To take 2000 to 2020.
Okay.
You know, I think we'd see even more drama from 1975 to current. But I know that the number of kids that can read coming out of high school is I don't want to quote the number. It's unbelievable. I didn't believe it. It can't be true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that every major university is spending an increasing amount of revenue, effort, and number of classes on remediation. And so, like, people go to Harvard. About half the kids at Harvard are there to take high school classes. I'm going to say that again. About half the kids at Harvard are there taking high school classes. And they leave with fucking degrees. And yes, they should have to pay that money back. Fuck them.
Hey, this is off subject, but I think that the reason why
that made running CrossFit hard. You know, when I started, it seemed like most everyone knew the difference between YOUR, YOU''RE, etc. And then it became UR for all cases. The texting and Facebook hasn't been good for us.
I don't know if there's a graph recently I published that shows like how Americans spend their time. And all of a sudden, when the internet comes, you know, it says computers, and it's like 0.5%. And then as you go from 2000 to the present, just computers just overtake family, friends, exercise, everything. It just climbs it races to the top. This graph, it's like an animation. And this one, yeah, I see how online is like 0 in 1947. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought of this until you just said it, but basically people have been entertaining themselves with stupid things ever since computers came around, right? So before, maybe someone might entertain themselves by reading a book, and next thing you know, everyone's playing Tetris. Remember in 2006?
Hey, Sebi, someone told me, an educator, a prominent educator, told me that 7% of publicly educated high school seniors can alphabetize 7 words correctly.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
You can tell them find intrepid in the dictionary, and they cannot do it.
Wow. Like a paper dictionary, they can't do it.
Nope, just turn every page until you find it.
Holy shit.
Fuck, dude.
Hey, and that's because instead of reading or doing other activities, building model airplanes or whatever, people are playing first-person shooters online 12 hours a day. Yeah, wow, crazy.
Yep.
And your mama jokes have gotten really good, but everything else is plummeted. Hey, have you ever played one of those games, Greg, where you sit in front of a TV and like you have headphones on and you tell someone he's a cunt? Never even once? You never even tried it? Me neither. I haven't either.
I played Asteroids because it was at my taco place while I was waiting for the tacos.
Oh, recently?
No, it was 40 years ago.
Oh.
You guys are missing out, dude.
I know. I've really wanted to try one of those games where like you're in a room with like the rest of humanity. Like
I'll bring my Xbox when we go to Tennessee and we can play.
I've never tried that.
I liked that my 5-year-old cleaned a chessboard and had a 90-minute crying jag. Just wiped it out.
Oh, because she lost and
she didn't like her position on the board.
And so she just took her hand and knocked all the pieces away?
And cleared the board and went into uncontrollable crying jag.
Were you playing with her?
No.
It's like when you're playing Monopoly and now all of a sudden you're in debt and everybody's
I'm like, you know what? We got a chess player here.
When I was 4 years old, I was sitting on a patio on a deck on the second floor of the apartment I lived in with my mom, and we were playing checkers. I was 4 years old, and she beat me. And I remember I thought she was the worst person in the world for doing that to me. It was bad. I thought she was evil that she beat me. Greg, in hindsight, would you have still fired the media team in 2018, gotten rid of the media team?
No, what I did was I realized that it's not a real sport if we're doing all of the media.
Mm.
And so what I did was I trimmed games media. I made it external and then opened it up. And what happened that very same year, we had NBC, ABC, CBS, remember?
Yeah.
Everybody came. And Tommy and Sean were butthurt. And you were a little butthurt.
I was butthurt.
But we had something else to do. And you know, if someone were to ask me about Metfix, it's the continuation of what needed to be done. Because the current crew has neither the capacity, the interest, nor the comfort, given that it's held by people that have a portfolio of investments. I'm gonna do some really unpopular shit. For instance, I think it's more than plausible. I think it's highly probable that sugar causes cancer. I'd be enthusiastic to have someone explain how it doesn't. I'd like to have it explained how the reactive oxidative species are eating away at the mitochondria in a manner other than what happens in the mitochondrial destruction that is at the core of the metabolic understanding of its origins. We don't know a lot of people that understand that cancer is a metabolic disease, but those of us that do, we've come to understand what the resistance is to that. Because probably within the same week that you figure out that it's a metabolic disease, you're going to indict sugar. And there's nobody that knows what I know that doesn't think that.
Do you think you could take a room full of doctors who think it's a genetic disease and in 2 hours convince them that it's a metabolic disease?
My buddy Tom offered the Boston Zoo to pay for all the donuts that the chimps would eat to see if the female chimps would get breast cancer. What? And the zoo told him we couldn't do that. That would be cruel to give the monkeys the shit you're eating.
Wow. Wow.
You'll kill the fucking monkey. You can't do that.
It's okay, but the staff will eat them. You can just pay for donuts on a Monday for the staff. It's all good.
And you know Tom.
Yeah. Is Greg funding any research?
Yeah, I do. I have for a long time. Look, CrossFit funded a lot of research. That was Greg Glassman. I owned every fucking penny was mine. So that's Greg.
Yeah.
And now the mothership won't have anything to do with anything like that. They're not going to fund anything worthwhile. I still do. I would have paid for the donuts to give to the chimpanzees to see if they get breast cancer.
How long do you think until the chimpanzees would have got breast cancer?
A couple of years.
Couple of years. That's cheap. Krispy Kremes, you can get cheap donuts. Just buy them at the end of the day.
And let me tell you, you know what? The monkeys would like them. They'd fight over them. If I promise you that.
They'd probably kill themselves first, fighting over the donuts.
Yeah. They're good. That's not the debate. You know, you don't get anywhere saying that the donuts don't taste good. That's like saying heroin's no fun. Apparently it is.
This Orange Theory and F45, they're a manifestation of like the business class, whereas CrossFit was the manifestation of a guy who is obsessed with helping people, seeing what's wrong and helping people.
You know, I was a pioneer, and evidence for my inability included letting affiliates make shirts. saying no to fish oil done by Nordic Naturals. Not scheming against Bill.
You saw these things as a threat to your overarching message. Like what was?
Well, they are, of course. I remember I tried to tell Reebok, listen, when my guy goes into the back room in the gym with everyone watching, waiting for a class, and he's got sizes 10 and 10 and a half, and he has you try them on, and you look in the mirror, and then he feels where your toes are and tells you, what do you think? And then there's an exchange of cash. You're no longer, it's hard to see you as being an essential part of the well-being of the community.
Janine, wow, this is Greg. Please hire me for BSI, match my income and benefits so I can stop working as a clinical nurse educator at a cancer center in California. So she works in a cancer center, but she knows the truth.
Yeah. Janine, I don't know. You know what MedFix is doing? We're the only commercial entity concerned with education in the care and feeding of mitochondria. There's nothing else here. There's nothing else there. It's just like Weight Watchers in that it's also Weight Watchers, but it's also cancer watchers and diabetes watchers and end-stage renal disease watchers and stroke watchers and myocardial infarct watchers, and I could do this for hours.
Hey, dude, that line right there that you just said, we have the cure for the world's most vexing problem, but for MedFix, care and feeding of mitochondria. I mean, that shit is fucking brilliant.
I thought so.
Dude, that is that's like your first, I don't know if it's your first, but that's like you're starting to pop out the mantras.
And here's where I go. Who's interested in that? I really don't fucking know. Suppose it's nobody. Will I be surprised? Not really. Suppose it's everyone. Well, that makes sense because everyone ought to be.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want out of life.
What's the best mitochondria book? You told me a book to read about mitochondria one time. Is it called Cells or something? And I remember I was like, it was a little tiny paperback book. And I read it and I was like, these fuckers are like aliens. This is crazy shit.
My current effort is graced by the contribution of Bob Kaplan. And Bob has been has just impressed everyone that he's worked for and supported. And you know, I want to say he's the brains behind the name a bunch of people, but that's probably not kind to them.
Sousa said he's fucking brilliant. Sousa said he's so impressive.
Let me tell you this. I talked him into taking Tom's graduate level oncology course. And Tom later told me that he was the best student he's had in 43 years of teaching. And then a year and a half later, he's co-author on a paper with him. How's that for a fucking student?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, he's and so his understanding of a metabolic syndrome is on a match for everyone's. But remember, he's Peter Attia's guy. He was Gary Taub's guy. He's nothing short of brilliant. And he's done amazing things. I've asked him to look into things for me, technical things.
Yeah.
And it comes back in multiple fonts with a summary and indexed and a table of contents and does this in a day. It's unbelievable.
What do you know what book I'm looking for? This book that
I'll think about it. I'll ask Bob.
It was like 10 years ago you told me to read this book. Maybe more, 15 years ago. It was such a simple book, a little tiny paperback.
You know, I see myself if your care feeding of mitochondria is mastering the violin. I think that my talents are in playing it and not the building of it. I could bore pretty quickly listening to Sears and friends debate whether it was the EPA or the DHA and the fish oil and exactly what ratio mattered when they were all in agreement that with fish oil you got the effect. And in fact, when I designed CrossFit, technically, this work capacity across broad time and modal domains, I was very careful to avoid the silly discussion of metabolic pathways, especially in light of the fact that a new one was discovered. And so what I did is I set up a system that would accommodate an infinite number of metabolic pathways. You can keep finding them, and I'll keep exercising them, not knowing they're there, by increasing work capacity across broad time and modal domains. That includes any imagined work metabolic pathway. Any bioenergetic scheme will be optimized with my effort. And so these people that are today, I'm working the aerobic portion. Shut up.
What defines a metabolic pathway? Biochemical reactions?
Yeah, the bioenergetics. Yep, the mechanism by which the ATP is produced. But I think what's important to offer is a nice ground level understanding of what happens in metabolic syndrome. And for me, the part I like the best is just the glycation angle. You can also look at reactive oxidative species too, and get to the same place. But glycation does it all for me. It's a mechanism, and what's simple about it is like, how does it happen? How does sugar become bound to essential structures? Well, I think that the very start it would involve eating it. How's that?
Right.
And so what does eating it do? Well, it causes glycation. And what's that? That's sugar that's bound forever, covalently, forever. Until that cells dies and is eliminated, or that structure is eliminated. And a lot of them don't eliminate. You only get one. But glycation, what that does in the mitochondria, what it does to the red blood cell, the role it plays in insulin resistance, the roles it plays in cardiovascular disease. We don't have a good handle on the mechanism of Alzheimer's, and there's only one real diagnosis, definitive diagnosis. The gold standard is pop your head open, take your brain out, and saw through some samples, stain it, and look in a microscope, and notice all the glycation in the form of advanced glycated end products. And I think that anyone that's working with people, trying to get them to avoid chronic disease, I think understanding of that on even that rudimentary level is important.
Going back, one of the things you talked about, this is going back a bit, you talked about people who give business advice. So this company here, Wattify, for example, they offer a software where people can come in, check into the gym, right? Type their name. It does billing for you. It does maybe like if you want to send an email telling everyone that you're doing the turkey trot on Thanksgiving, you can type it in once. It sends it to all the people. Maybe it keeps track of who opened it for you, who responded. It's hooked up. Gives schedules so people can go online and sign up for classes. Do you not see that as a great value add?
I didn't need it.
Not whether you need it or not, but while you don't see it as just a value add to help organize everything, it's like don't you prefer email over snail mail?
Oh, for sure. But I know how to email without Wattify, dude.
No, but there's a comparison there because there was a point where you would have to write the letter, put it in an envelope, lick the stamp, make sure that you had the right price for the stamp, weigh the post, and then take it down to the post office and deliver it.
That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about.
I think that there's a strong parallel there.
You know, you're gonna make an argument for me for the iPad menu in the restaurant, and I fucking hate it.
I hate that too.
I won't go back.
Why?
I don't care how good the food is. I don't know.
I don't like it either.
And you know what? I'll eat at McDonald's. If that's where we're all going, I'll fucking eat something. If that's what you got to do, you got to do. I'll get the double quarter pounder with cheese, no onions. You know, I don't mind that. Would I order it from a kiosk and take it out of a machine like it comes out of an exhaust pipe with no one there? No. And I don't even know why. But I don't want people to sign in on a computer. I want to say good morning, how you doing? I want to talk to them. I know the difference between a doctor where you call the office and leave a message with a receptionist that doesn't give a fuck and having the doctor's cell phone. I know the difference. And the kind of practice I ran, I had a, you know, I told you I was doing things socially with the same people. We had regular bike rides Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m. with a good cohort. And I actually ate into classes while we did that, but it was fun. And there were other people that were holding classes for people that didn't want to get up at 6 a.m. and freeze in the Santa Cruz Hills. But then we had a Sunday bike ride that ended with the tequila fest at that Mexican place in the ditch.
Every day Haley takes a class somewhere in Santa Cruz, right? Like a hot Pilates or a yoga or something. She does them. And there's like 5 or 6 places she goes to. And she can just go on her phone and see if the class is full and sign up. And occasionally, if the place is full, she'll still go down there and she'll look at the instructor and be like, hey, can I take the class? She'll be like, sure, come on in, slide in over there or something like that. And I just think, wow, it's such a great convenience for her. It's so nice. And I just think that there's so many things that you could automate. I mean, hopefully it doesn't make you lazy and disconnect you from the from your client. But it's kind of I just don't see the negative in it at all. In helping you. I'm trying to pinpoint why it would be bad to have some of those things as help, as opposed to writing an email, CCing everyone at your gym, making sure you had all the emails in there, and then hitting send, like if you wanted to send an email to everyone. And then if you are going to use those things, then you have to learn those things, right? You have to learn how to use Wodify. You know what I mean? The same way you'd have to learn how to use. I mean, like, do you hate computer chess? Like, do you like that?
Do I like what?
Computer chess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like I like playing a person.
Right.
I watched a Gold's Gym run by a woman who ran the business office for a crushing it Indiana construction firm, came out with her son who got his hands on a Gold's Gym. And she handled the membership, finance, everything, and did it all on 5x7 index cards in a desk in her office. And we went to a computerized system, and there were extended periods where the computer was a disadvantage to Marianne's system. Now, I wouldn't try and run a business off of index cards again, but if you told me that your trainer was doing his finance with a number 2 pencil and an eraser on a brown paper bag in the top drawer of his desk, and asked me, is this guy any good or not? I haven't heard anything yet. I have no sense that he doesn't know what he's doing. By the way, that bag and pencil, that was me. And can I tell you how it worked?
Yeah, please.
Perfectly.
Oh.
Perfectly. It's like an HR department, dude. And we went from one HR person because we were told that not having an HR person is evidence that you don't care about any HR related issues. And so it'll be held against you in court. So, oh, fuck, okay, we get an HR lady. What happens? she gets 2 old accountants bringing guns to work, want to kill each other, and next thing you know, we have 23 people working in HR. There would have been no end to that. There would have been no end to it.
Sevi, this is the first time I've heard you sound like you're doing an ad read. Well, fucking clean your fucking ears then. What is happening right now? I've always since I first started working there, this has been one of those things that Greg and I have talked about a lot. And I think he started the thing saying that people, the business advice people, you see it as common sense. And I just think that there's a lot of people out there who don't have common sense. I would propose that you can't imagine that there's some people there's some things that come so easily to you that you can't imagine other people it not coming easy.
Jason Khalipa was selling the advice that if you have a class with 5 people in it, you have to pay attention to all of them, and people paid for that.
I remember that. But I
had to tell him if you're helping anyone, they're fucking stupid, and when you're done helping them, they'll still be stupid.
Right.
And that's a deficit from which being a successful trainer is unlikely.
Okay, I'll give you a real good example.
I'm sorry?
I'll give you a really good example. You're right. I'll give you an example. When you run a business and you're buying shit and it doesn't go in the right bucket, you can't tax deduct it. And so you have to be taught about that shit, right? And then even after you're taught about it, you need help with it, organizing that shit, right? Use this credit card when you're taking your staff out to dinner. Use this credit card when you're taking your family out to dinner. Oh, you filled up your gas tank and now you're driving to a business meeting. That was deductible. But fuck, you used the wrong credit card. And I just think that there's people that can educate you and software out there that can help you with all that stuff so that you're not bogged down by it or missing opportunities. Does that one resonate with you?
I can't. You're reminding me of just some unbelievable things I've seen.
Tell me.
And my MBA running the foundation, using foundation checks for non-foundation things, and oops, I'm sorry. How about the guy that goes to the bank to get the prize money, and by the time he gets to the event, and this is another MBA, it's not the right amount of money, and hands it out to an athlete, has to come back and go, this isn't right.
You should have had Wadify do it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're gonna write in the chat, ask my question above, don't do that. Just write the question again. Just write the fucking question again, guys. Help a brother out. Don't. It's like when I text someone, I'm like, "What time is this?" They're like, "I told you earlier." Well, you could have just told me again. And that time it took you to tell me.
And don't comment 5 times between the question.
Yeah.
And then telling somebody to ask the question again.
I'm trying to fucking help you. I started scrolling up looking for your shit, and then I'm like, wait, what am I doing? You're treating me like I'm a fucking monkey or a dog.
Eat this donut.
Yeah, will chimpanzees get breast cancer if we feed them to donuts? You'd have to do it in China or something.
Damn, now you're thinking.
Let me see this. I've never been able to acquire the taste of Gold Peak tea Glassman drinks. Oh my God. It is, by the way, you idiots who say does it have sugar in it, it is the furthest thing from sugar. It's like eating a banana peel. The caffeine is so strong in it.
Yeah,
just see him drinking it. I mean, that shit is, you might as well just snort a line of meth. Just seeing him drink it and his knowledge of health makes me want to try it harder to drink it. He's paid by them. He's sponsored by them. He hates that shit. I was just imagining, like, I know that you were always comfortable if we went to 15,000 affiliates and then back down to 1,000 affiliates, that was not your that was not like you were really you were concerned isn't the right word. You were really focused on just the truth. Like that's all you were focused on. And I don't think people understand that even in the slightest. They keep calling it a marketing, or like this idiot at the New York Times keeps calling it a multi-million-dollar fitness thing. And I'm like, man, this is.
Do you only become a 10-year affiliate by being temperamentally given to the realizations that are common to the 10-year affiliates? Because I did the 10-year affiliate gathering to address the constancy of longtime affiliates standing in line to say hi to me, only to let me know at the games that this has nothing to do with what's going on at their box. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's why I had it.
Yeah.
And I spoke with the assumption that they all felt that way.
Yeah.
That they all had seen miracles in terms of chronic disease reversal. That they were keenly aware that if you can reverse it, you got to be preventing it. The thing that makes it go away should keep it from happening, right?
Right. Especially if you're not cutting off an arm. Bill, good morning.
What's up, guys?
What's up,
How
Bill?
you doing, Coach?
Hey, Bob, what's up?
Just hanging out. Hey, I had to call in because what I'm hearing as an affiliate owner is
as
the way
as a 15-year affiliate owner, right?
I think we're coming up on 17 this year.
Damn,
it's beautiful.
Yeah. I think the difference is, and this is coming from a guy who's not a business guy. When we started ours, I was still doing fire, so I was in the middle of that whole thing. And the difference I think that you guys are talking about is what Greg has always done is he was always a coach first. So his attention was always on the people, whether that was looking at the emails that he was sending out or the activities that he was doing. His hands were on his people, because one of the things he always said was, I should be able to look at whatever client and I can talk about their family. I know their kids. I know what events are coming up. I know who's having a baby. I know who's going through a breakup. I know everything. And the only way you can do that, I think, and maybe I'm wrong because maybe this is kind of an old school thing, but when you start setting up so many processes that you now become removed from your actual gym. And this is one of the biggest issues that I have. It's the whole, you don't work in your gym, you work on your gym. And I think that that's rough for people. So like if you have a person that can run all the processes which aren't the heart and soul of the gym, then maybe it would work that way. But the way that Greg talks about it, it's like, I'm spending my time, I'm spending my attention, I'm spending my energy on my members that are there, because that's why they're paying that for me. They're not paying for a cheerleader. They're paying for someone to help them be better, whatever better that might be for them, that particular person. But it takes time to do that. And I know that processes are supposed to give you more time, but I don't think, even though everyone sells it that way, I don't know if they really do it that way. I don't know if they go, okay, I'll have this process that will give me 3 hours back of my time, that they really put the 3 hours back into the actual people or the gym or whatever. I've never seen the trade-off like that. I wish it was like that, but I've never seen it like that.
Bill,
At least it hasn't worked that way for me.
Bill, that's why the UFC got Snoop Dogg at their Christmas party. And we got Thomas Seyfried at CrossFit.
Right.
You got a taco truck and Thomas Seyfried at Christmas. Everyone's like, "Yay, the UFC's getting drunk with Snoop Dogg."
But tell me what you think there, Coach. I mean, like that, you've always talked from the level of a coach.
Yeah, my dad used to say, if you're looking for an argument, you need a different subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's exactly right. And like email, I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
And then
I know.
If I'm not going to be there, I did run my show on Basecamp to wonderful effect. And where that started is if Brendan had a class at 6 a.m. on Monday and I'm teaching it on Wednesday, I want to know what he did and who was there.
What's Basecamp?
It was a collaborative shared workplace thing, and you could message off of it. It was cool.
Like on a phone and a
Run by
computer, like
37 signals. I don't
Like
know.
Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
37 signals, the people that made it, but I use
look,
that.
we're coming closer together. Look,
But I like that, but no one signed in. Now the trainers afterwards would need to, from phone or home or somewhere. I want to know who was there and what you did, and only so that I don't do. So I do something different. If you did Fran on Monday, I don't want to do it on Wednesday and say, okay, we're doing Fran today. And they go, we just did it Monday. I knew what they did. It was wildly empowering.
I think at least from my perspective, the way that works best is, I mean, we've seen it, man, I've seen it in the fire service a ton, where you get promoted out of the job that you're best at. And so you have these really good coaches that then become just business people, and they're not able to do what they're really good at. Like I'm a fucking fantastic coach. Like I can look at what you're doing. I can help you move better. I can connect with you on a personal level and help you out. I'm okay. I'm not terrible, but I'm not great at the business side. I wish I could find someone that all they wanted to do was just let me run all the things so you can do what you need to do. I mean, we'll talk about whatever, but like, let me coach. It's just sad to see a coach that all of a sudden becomes a client retention marketing person, and they're just worried about trying to post their daily wins on social media and whatever. And it's like, I get it, but then all of a sudden they're not doing what they need to be doing, which is making the connection with the person to get that win of the day. I don't know.
Thanks, Bill.
I'm in such complete agreement, Bill. That kind of ends the subject for me.
Heidi, is Grundler calling to also sell Wodify? No, fucking Heidi. I'm hanging up on Bill right now because he did the opposite. That's how much you fucking misunderstand everything.
Hey, you guys have a good morning, okay? Love you guys.
I love
Billy,
Wodify.
I'll see you soon.
I love Wodify. Fuck you guys. 19-year.
That was
morning.
well put.
Oh, fine. You can get me canceled from my sponsor. Brooke Moberly, also a 19-year career as a cancer and research, and knew 2 years in we were just spinning our wheels. Yikes. At Decatur Memorial, where Greg came to do the inaugural MDL1 and first CF hospital affiliate. By the way, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm not going to say your name. You know what's fascinating about that is Greg tells a story about meeting the owner of the hospital, the CEO of the hospital. It's fucking really hard to believe until you match it with that. Do you want to share that story? Because that's crazy.
I was bragging to him about it. I met all these doctors that are getting healthy, and the cardiologist says it's changed the way he practices. An orthopedic surgeon's seen some injuries, but he's changed his definition of sport, his sense of exercise, his purpose. What he's trying to do now is, if you get hurt, you got to get back to doing CrossFit as soon as you can. And everyone was all happy, and I was sharing it with the CEOs. We walked from the hospital through the woods to the gym, and I think there were 700 members or something.
It was crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it was a thriving gym. Okay, he grabs me by the puffy jacket and pushed me up against a tree. He goes, "I could bankrupt the fucking hospital on the pharmacy cuts alone." And I was like, "Oh," he kind of scared me. He was really upset. And so when he got fired 2 years later, I understand. It was an outbreak of wellness.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Whoa.
He's got his doctors telling people not to take statins. That you need to do is lower your blood sugar. That it's the endogenous cholesterol that's the problem, and that's instructions from insulin. Yeah,
time to change your profile pic, please. The question was, what are Greg's thoughts on CoQ10 supplementation for mitochondrial efficiency? Studies have shown demonstrable benefits, even if there isn't a CoQ10 deficiency.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But we have CoQ10 deficiency issues. A lot of what we're learning about it comes from what the statins that reduce it. And I got to run, which is a bummer because this has been a good morning.
Oh, that's okay. Well, thank you. I'm about to yell at some people in the chat. I prefer you don't see that.
Don't abuse your fans.
No, listen. Heidi, Mike McCaskey, and
They
David.
like
Reed,
it. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. They come here for fucking a flogging. What are you doing? Where are you going? That's so important. You gonna pick paint for something or handles or?
It's a meeting regarding the single family development, real estate development thing I'm doing.
Oh, that's fun. You like that? When I talked to you about that, I was kind of surprised how much you're starting to like that. You like that, right? Like you're stimulated by that in a way that I haven't seen you get stimulated by stuff outside of your
Building homes and keeping them to rent. I get that, and I've got some fascinating role models, people that were important in my life, both as a youngster and currently.
But you were also excited. Like, did you guys won an award and you get you're like focusing on making the plants for like a butterfly sanctuary on the property, and you're just doing cool shit that like I see like shows who you are.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It really is. We bought a chunk of land from a church that ended up with 2 pastors on TV, so they hit it big time and went to another area, and their parking lot was 6 acres. Imagine that. And we bought the parking lot from them as they left and found the city easy to deal with, and paid for some architecture and animations and through the permitting, and before we'd even broken ground, we got on the base of those animations best new design in the city. And they're 3 and 4 bedroom units, and it's a little playground, and it's affordable housing. We've seen increases in prices here that are breathtaking, and so you just because you went to Stanford Medical School and are working at at a major hospital doesn't mean you're going to buy a home. Not around here.
Yeah.
And so there's a shortage of safe, new, marble countertop, especially with families.
Awesome.
Cops, doctors, school teachers, restaurant managers.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, dude.
Good seeing
Bye.
you.
See you, Greg.
Bye.
God, it's the greatest show on the internet.
It's pretty good.
We're in the relationship business, and you can't systemize relationships. Yeah, but you can systemize other shit. When I wrote people's names on scores on the board after class, that was 5 minutes. I could talk to people and focus on them. Yeah, now we're talking. A streamlining billing is vitally important. Yeah, thank you. Now we're talking.
Yeah. I was reading this article the other day about how there's a decline in people who want to buy Rolex watches because they run a very similar model to CrossFit. So Rolex, obviously there's a headquarters that makes all of their watches, and then they distribute them to authorized dealers across the world. And those authorized dealers are not run by Rolex. They just allow each individual store to run it however they see fit.
Yeah.
And so, but those dealers are basically only selling them to people who are there. Basically, all the good stuff is going to the people, the friends of the owners of the dealerships. And so, if you're friends with the AD, you can just buy the watch off market price and then resell it for twice as much. And so people the people who actually I want to buy.
Isn't Ferrari or Lamborghini like that too? You already have to own one to buy another one. So what people do is they start buying them and then selling them.
Yes, I can't. It might be Pagani or Bugatti or something like that. But yeah,
I think Greg got a Porsche like that. There was a 1-year waiting list for a Porsche, but he found a guy who bought a bunch of them and had to pay $50,000 extra for it.
It's a Porsche. Yeah, you can't buy a Porsche 911 RS or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he has. Something crazy.
Yeah. So that's it's starting to become the downfall of Rolex because these prices for a Rolex are astronomical. You get a Submariner and it's $20,000. Whereas you buy it off of the market from an AD, it's 5 to 6.
What's an AD stand for?
Authorized dealer.
Oh.
And so it's kind of the same way where Rolex is starting to have this downfall where if you sign up like, hey, I want to buy this Rolex Submariner from the dealer, and you tell them, hey, I want to buy this, you express interest, and then you don't get the call to buy it for like another 2 years. And so by then it's like, fuck it. Why would I don't want to wait 2 years to buy like this thing that like I graduated med school last year and I want to buy a Rolex right now and to commemorate my graduation from med school. And then 2 years from now, you're like sour about the fact that you haven't been able to commemorate that accomplishment. And so people just don't care. They'll go out to the Omega store across the street and buy one there. So I don't know if that's any correlation, but I felt like it was.
I want to offer my services to anyone who's interested in buying an expensive watch or an expensive wedding ring, or if you're about to do any of those things, I can help you. Like anyone you see with an expensive watch, whether it's Ronaldo, Dave Castro, or Conor McGregor, or Mark Zuckerberg, like I could help you. Like you are a world-class fucking idiot if you spend more than $100 on a watch. And I can and you, the thing is you will eventually know it too. You will eventually know it too. You will, a point will come, same with expensive wedding rings. A point will come where you realize what a stupid dumb fuck you are. Yeah, too late. Yeah. I understand it happens to the best of them. But I can help. I can help you with that if you want to be helped. If you're interested, and for free of charge, I can help you. I can talk to you on the phone. It could be like an AA. Anytime you're thinking about tempted to go to the Rolex store and buy one or get an expensive wedding ring, or if you need me to talk to your wife, like I can. It's a Do they? I don't think they make a $10,000 Rolex. Do they?
Yeah, so that's the thing is you can buy if you buy it straight from the dealer. There's one they're like 10 grand, but I mean there's definitely some that are cheaper than 10 grand. There's like if you just get a regular Rolex Submariner, it's like 5 grand.
No shit, really?
Yeah, if you buy it from the dealer.
Yeah, that's at that point. So that's the levels to the shit. Like you're a dumb fuck if you buy one, and you're even dumber if you buy a cheap one. Because the pathology that makes you want to spend a lot of money on a watch, you're just the laughing stock of those people when you have a cheap one. It's very interesting. Is $900
spending a lot of money? So I got a pathology going on.
Say that again.
Said I'm a big fan of spending a lot of money, so I got a pathology.
Well, it's okay. It's okay.
I don't think you can therapize. I don't think you can therapize me for that.
Just because you drank on your birthday, you drink a $300 glass of whiskey, I'll give you a pass. Listen, Andrew, is $900 a lot? Andrew, yours isn't a watch. I bet. I don't know what he has, but he probably has something that's like tells you the tidal waves and the wave patterns. You know, the ocean. It probably tracks your elevation.
The one that Greg has?
Yeah, like those. Yeah, like I would get one of those. Like if it actually has function outside of just being expensive for the sake of being expensive, yeah, like I'm okay with a Garmin away, people. Spend $3,500 on a Garmin. I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking. Those aren't watches. It tells me how far I hit a golf ball. Yeah, that's not a watch. Yeah,
that's pretty gay.
That's cool as shit.
I bought a $40 watch that my unit made. Like we got these watches.
Oh,
and it's just like this little Casio thing.
Yeah,
and there's like a little inscription on the back, and I'm pretty proud of this one because I got it right after I graduated. So this is kind of a big
and I'm assuming like you guys have a reason. Like you're like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Fire in the hole. Kaboom! Shit. I'm assuming you have a reason for a watch,
right?
But if you're buying dudes who buy Rolexes, like whatever reason you thought you bought it for, it's not going to help it.
What I think
it
is really
not. It is not going to help it.
What I really think is funny is when people buy like a Yacht Master or like a Dive Master watch.
Yeah.
And they don't scuba dive. They don't do anything aquatic or anything that would be associated with the use of that watch, the actual use of that watch.
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I just really love this watch." And you're like, but you don't need like the functionality of that watch is for very specific reason, and you're not even utilizing it. You work in an office, dude. You got
What
a
I'm
cubicle.
right. What I'm about to tell you isn't exactly true, but you'll understand the premise of it. If you buy a $80,000 watch because you think it's going to compensate for whatever insecurity you have that you don't even know you have, you just think you want a nice watch, you're already lying to yourself. But then when you wear that watch, it's already going to make you more insecure. And then on top
Yeah.
of that, you're going to be worried about scratching it and where it's hidden and you're a little safe. And then there's going to be times you think, fuck, I wish I had the money. And it's just, there's nothing good's going to come from it. It's going to add, it's a burden on you in every way, from your insecurities to, and the wedding ring is the exact same thing. Buy an expensive wedding ring.
Yeah.
Matthew, if you don't have the ability to tell or direction in the military, you're fucked. Always buy analog and you'll know time, pace, and direction. Oh, why do you how does analog tell you your direction?
I think you can. I don't know that.
Just like a regular Mickey Mouse watch, if I had one like I got at Disneyland, I could just use it to know which direction I'm going. I think Matthew might be smart.
He is. I don't know. I don't know how it does that. I'm not much of a land nav guy.
I bet you Matthew's one of the most secure men who walks the planet. And who he is.
Yeah, you would have to be, right?
Yeah.
You come on the show, just get roasted every weekend, beat the shit out of people.
I want to show you a video. I cropped that video from this morning.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah. Somebody sent me this. I think I cropped it enough. To where you. Yeah. I want to play this video.
You want me to just pull it here?
I'm going to send it to you, the crop version.
Okay.
Can you play it with audio?
I think so. Should be able to. You know how when you put in USBs, you have like a 50-50 chance of getting it right, which direction it goes, and you always get it wrong.
Oh, yeah. That's why USB-C is so nice, right? I never thought of that. It removes that upside down.
Okay. Let's see. There we go.
I saw the most disturbing video I've ever seen on Instagram yesterday.
What was it?
It's I don't know why this one really got under my skin. This one really oh, okay, here we go. Let's play this. Okay, guys, enjoy this. Here we go.
Can you hear that?
No. Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna download it to the and then
okay. While you do that, I'm gonna play this video. This video is so. I'm only gonna play you 10 seconds or 15 seconds of this video, but this video goes on for 2 minutes. This is crazy.
Yo, man, it's police business. Take a step back.
Take a step wherever the fuck I want to, little nigga. Little nigga.
Take a step back.
Nah, take a step right here, little nigga.
Take a step back.
Bitch ass nigga. Don't ever fucking in your life
Take
tell
a
me.
step back.
I take a step right here, fuck nigga. Ball, bitch. Watch your fucking mouth. I need your business card now, too. I need your business card, fuck boy. I ain't stepping nowhere. I'm on the fucking sideway. I need your business card.
Step back.
I'm not stepping nowhere. I need your business card.
This goes on for 2.5 minutes. This guy, this cop, the fat lady, the fat black lady that's his partner's like, just give him the business card. Just give him the business card. Hey, dude, if someone said that to you, like let's say me and you were just out like in front of a McDonald's, like eating our chicken McNuggets, and someone came up to you like that.
Yeah.
After 30 seconds, I would fucking hit the guy from behind so fucking hard.
Yeah, especially if they just kept following me around.
I wouldn't be like, "Hey, Caleb, just give him what he wants." I would be like, "Holy
No.
fuck, we're on." This goes on. You know what this cop fucking does? He eventually walks over to a staircase that goes down underground, a subway staircase, and puts his back to it. All the dude would have had to do is push him down the stairs, and the guy would have fallen to his like fucking 3 stories to his fucking death.
Yeah.
This goes on, and he continues to call this guy a nigger and a fuckboy and all this shit for 2.5 fucking minutes. That other cop is like doesn't have his fucking back, that fat lady, and he eventually writes down his name and whatever the fuck you have to do and gives it to that guy.
For what?
And all I'm thinking the whole time I'm seeing this is, if a cop can't just beat this guy for doing this, then cops can't. How can you protect me if you can't protect yourself?
Right.
Like, hey, dude, you can't walk up to anyone. You can't you can't walk up to anyone and treat them like that.
If you do that to anybody else, you're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
If it's not a cop, you're fucking dead.
This goes on forever.
Step back.
Bro, them days is over. If you trying to intimidate people, them shits is done. That shit is done. I need your business card. Fuck
I need your business card.
boy.
Step back, bro.
Dude, this shit is crazy, dude. I'd never let a man like that babysit my kids.
Mm.
Hey, by the way, just so you know how fucked up people's radar is, I was looking at the comments somewhere, and I think it was on YouTube or somewhere. Someone sent me a screenshot, and it said, it was I don't even know what the video was. I think it's the Mayhem Classic, and it said, "I can't stand Bryson and Taylor. I would never leave my girlfriend alone with them," or something. I was like, wow, is your like, dude, your mom could date Taylor or Bryson or your sister or anyone, dude. You are out of your fucking mind if you can't tell that those are fucking like top A fucking quality fucking men. Those are the dudes who, when they walk by the kitchen, yell into the bedroom, "Honey, do you want a glass of water or something?" Like, those are female service oriented men. If you don't fucking see that, you're out of your fucking mind. You must not. Yeah, maybe that's what it is, Jake. Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe it's that they're afraid their girl would fuck them.
It's probably what
Christian, I wouldn't leave my boyfriend with them. Good point. Neither. If you think Bryson can seduce your girlfriend, you're out of your mind. It's crazy. Those are like those are like highly pack protective men. Like highly those are guys, when you're walking, they have their eyes on the outside world. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. I was just like, wow, imagine I was just trying to think, who the fuck are your friends if you don't see that those are like high quality individuals? Yeah. You're deceived by the fact that they talk about buttholes or something. That's your only radar. Those guys, like your radar is fucked up. I've had some issues with my radar.
Really?
Yeah, I was talking about it today in the chat. I have if someone says something really stupid, let's say Donald Trump says something really stupid, I just think that they misspoke. You know how the Dems always think like, oh, it's okay. You know that thing that they do with Biden? Oh, it's okay. He's just old, or he misspoke. Really, inside, right. He's really sharp. It's when it comes out of his mouth. You know how like you have to justify everything.
Right.
There was even when I saw Brian on the being interviewed by Rich Froning, there was a scene in there. I don't know if you could find it easily, but he says something like, "I have this great message and I don't understand why these guys won't spread it."
Right.
I was like my radar just went fucking crazy. But I just assumed he misspoke. Do you know? Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
just do that every time he says something, or
I'm just like, there's just no way he actually meant what he said. Like, even if you thought that, you would have to, like, there's only one person I've ever heard say that who I thought could get away with it, and it's a Yeshua. When he does it, I'm like, all right, yeah, he's got a good you know what I mean? Like, go spread
Okay.
them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's a message that people should
That was
wanna-
his,
would wanna
and that was
hear.
like his full shtick. Like, I got a message, go spread it for me.
Right.
But that shit was crazy. I was like, there's no way he really. That's what I mean. My radar's broken. Like I it's something that I could never imagine someone saying. So I just maybe that's what it is for those people too. They can't imagine two guys talking about buttholes, and so then they think it would be unsafe for their girlfriend or wife to be around them. But if it was fucking, that's a miss. Mr. Hatfield, love you, buddy. You got your coach coming on. You know, Austin, that was a missed opportunity when I had you on the show. I was so excited to have you on the show, and that I didn't chop it up with you. I just peppered you with questions. I own that. I should have just like hung out and chopped it up with you a little bit. Asked you about your 401k, shit like that. Yeah, so that cop thing, if I don't feel safe around cops being able to protect me, if I don't feel safe around cops and they're not able to protect themselves, how the fuck are they supposed to protect me?
Yeah.
I want them to have a shorter fuse to protect themselves than they would me. I'm okay with that. The second a cop tells you to back up and you don't, you should expect to get fucking tased. So you're gonna be cool. You can't. I would love for you to come on the show, but you got to be cool. I don't want to. I would love for you. I love you when you come on the show. I just don't want it to. I don't want to. I don't want to ass rape anyone.
I have that video uploaded if you want to watch it real quick too.
But you're always welcome. I love you to death, buddy. Caller, hi. The roadcaster is supposed to like help me, and instead it makes me anxious because it just never works. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be like
that's how Greg thinks about Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Caller, hi. Hold on, caller. Hold on. Wait 1 second. I want to see what David's talking about. Is David? Someone needs to check on. I don't want to ass rape anymore. Jake, I saw that was kind of weird. Is David okay? He seems like he's been really nice lately. Like something happened. Did you find God or something, dude? Where is Jake? What did Jake say? Oh, Miss Jake. There isn't Mike. It's all out in the open, and he's come clean now. He's been caught. Do you know when you're a little caller? Hi.
Yo.
Hold on 1 second. Do you know when you're? Oh yeah, you did find God. Okay. All right.
He watched The Chosen.
When you have little kids, they go through these phases. So the first phase is like they don't know they're naked, right? Like they're just like 3 months old, right? Whatever. They don't know. Then they get like 1.5 and you're at the beach with them and they don't care that they're naked, right? Then they become like, 7 or 8 and they'll be naked at home. You know what I mean? Like my kids will run around naked at home. They don't give a fuck, but they don't want to change. Like when they change in the car, like in between tennis and jiu-jitsu, I'm like, hey, I make my kids change their underwear after every event, clean shirt, clean underwear. And they're like looking out the window and I have to tell them, hey dude, no one can see in here. You know what I mean? Like just chill.
Right.
I don't know when like they don't even want to be naked in the house. Like maybe that's like at 14 or something. Then they don't even want to like run through the house naked. Like maybe they won't come to the kitchen and like eat a snack when they're naked when they're 14. I don't know when that happens. My kids aren't old enough. But when I watched Brian on Rich's podcast, I thought that like he was an adult who was stuck like a 1.5-year-old. Like he's naked at the beach but doesn't know it. So I started feeling bad for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was like, hey dude, like everyone can see you right now.
Like Emperor's New Clothes kind of thing.
Like, hey dude, push some of that shit down, hide that.
Right.
Like no, don't say like when he like I was getting like I was someone even said I'm scared for Brian a little bit that he's gonna dig his hole deeper. And like I was like, wow. Okay, caller, go ahead. Do you get the metaphor I'm trying to give? Like he doesn't realize how naked he is.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And he's got a big swastika on his back. And it's like, dude, you're naked and we can see that.
Tramp stamp swastika.
Yeah, get that shit removed first. Caller, go ahead.
It was almost like he was trying to be the guy at the lunch table, trying to fit in with the cool kids.
Hold on, you're
That was
popping.
like a little embarrassing.
Hold on, you're popping. Hold on. There were a lot of embarrassing moments for that too. That's the whole thing. Even when people are like when Rich said that the company outgrew Dave and Greg and Sevon, I was like, hey, dude, you got to think of a different way to say that, because he grew the fastest chain in fucking world history. But like, if you're gonna critique the Usain Bolt's running speed, you better fucking like have something more than just a critique. Like, hey, you could have run faster. It's like, well, you better follow that up with like,
How?
yeah, like, because that shit is so easy to be like, wow. I mean, yeah. It was weird. It was weird. I don't know if Froning and Angelo weren't listening, or they purposely gave Brian a bunch of rope to hang himself. But there was a lot of times when they should have been like, whoa, follow up question. What did you mean by that?
I don't think he would have done himself any more favors.
Like when he said he had the message and that other people should be carrying it for him, I was tripping.
See Jesus all of a sudden?
Or talking about how Roman might not qualify because there wasn't enough spots for him. I mean, yeah, there was some weird shit in there, dude.
Like, I give a fuck, dude.
I'm the 28. I'm the
Fucking
28-time world champion. Don't tell me what to eat. Travis Page.
It's a good quote.
Okay, caller, go ahead. Sorry, you're fixed.
You got me?
Got you.
Nice. So, yeah, that whole Brian thing yesterday, I felt like as though like he was trying to be really, really cool with the cool guys, but he's still the kid trying to play nice. It was so weird and cringy. I was just like, oh man, it couldn't end fast enough.
Was there anything that stood out to you? Was there anything that's like any moment in time when you were like, oh shit? Like, did you you felt bad for him? Like you were like,
I mean, I felt bad for him when he said that he lost his friends, but he did that to himself.
yeah, that's another weird thing when you say you lost all your friends.
Is that a you problem or is that a them problem?
That's a you problem, because you still get some people that are still friends with you. If everyone drops you, dude, it's fucking you.
Here's what I think, though, dude. I think what he thinks, he needs to go back and watch the Hiller video. I think what he thinks is like the world is like Mean Girls. And like we decided that we don't like him because he wears a certain kind of shoes, or we made something up about him that isn't true. Like, so just so you know, like this is really harsh, but I'm just gonna say it. About a year before I decided like, hey Brian, I think that it's like really, I mean, he's the one who decided it. He's the one who decided we're gonna part ways. That was on him. He didn't want to have the relationship we had anymore, and I understood, and I was fine with it. But the time that I was finally then like, okay, I'm just gonna not talk to him or text him or anything anymore, it was already a year past where several people were like, hey dude, something's wrong with that guy. You should keep distance from him. And people were telling me that. And what's interesting is in this cohort of his old friends that I know, every single person gave him a chance, and every person has like 5 stories. And so it would be like, hey, Caleb, don't date that chick. She's going to cheat on you. Caleb's like, no, I'm the one. I can fix her so she doesn't cheat. Yeah. That's how everyone was. And then everyone after a few months was like, whoa, that bitch just cheats. That's who she is. And yeah, it was I think he's really I think he's really confused on what he does. There was this guy I knew who had the worst smelling feet ever. It was so bad I just couldn't be around him. I've only had one person in my whole life whose smell was so bad I couldn't be around him. And
Sorry about that.
no, it wasn't you. His feet smelled like rotting milk, but it's like he knew.
And
that
you don't
guy
do anything about it?
He knew. He tried. He knew.
That's fucking gnarly.
And that's the problem. I don't think Brian knows.
I think people have made it
That's
pretty
his fault,
evident. He
man.
just refuses to
Say that again. Say that again, Jethro.
That's his fault. He actually got on Rich's podcast. That was his goal. And just like Andrew said in his video, what's he gonna do with it? probably nothing.
I was embarrassed
Nothing's
for
gonna
Rich.
come out
I
of
was
it.
embarrassed for Rich a little bit too.
Why were you embarrassed for Rich?
Because it seemed like Brian was doing whatever Brian does to kind of like Rich too, you know, and that and Rich was either bored with it or wasn't, or I almost feel like he lulled Rich to sleep and Rich didn't have any follow-up questions. Like if someone said to me like, "Hey, I have this brilliant message. Why aren't people sharing it?" Like that, I would be like, "Excuse me, wait, what?" Or like when they were talking about what leadership is and that people need to get together and talk, and they kept like, there was this reference that him and Rich said, like us, like, look, we're talking, we're like adults. It's like, wow, you're totally characterizing what's happened between Brian or what's happening in the fucking community. It would be like if I went to fucking Rich's church and said, hey, Judas wasn't really a bad guy, and tried to convince everyone that, hey, what he didn't really do what you think he did. They would be like, sorry, dude, we don't have tolerance for that. I mean, that's where we're at with some of these fucking idiots, right? Like it's not like a talking thing. It's like, okay, this isn't the right church for you. And there were just some things that were said, like there were just some things in there. I was just embarrassed for all of them, to be honest. Like I started getting a little embarrassed. Look at Hiller. Here we go.
No. I joined knowing that you didn't want to ass rape everyone, so I just made a reel ass raping him, and
you did
announce here that I made a reel. Everybody.
I think Rich thought it would be engaging, but was bored, and Angelo did not even bother. Like, hey, dude, this thing doesn't need. Here's the thing. When they Jethro, what do you think about this? When they said the WTF affiliates, the premise that was shared with us was that they don't know what the affiliate program is, but they have the first 50 affiliates, and then they're gonna find out what they want, and they're gonna try to fulfill it. That's like the exact opposite of what CrossFit needs. CrossFit needs just vision. We need just vision and leadership. We don't need any more listening. We don't need any like no one gives a fuck what the fucking affiliates think. We need a fucking leader. And it sounded seriously. It didn't sound. Rich's vision didn't sound any different to me than fucking Eric Rose's. The way he was letting the way they were just like going around shit so gently. I was like, oh god, here we go again. It was just populist talk. I didn't like it. I was embarrassed. I know Rich isn't like that at Mayhem. I know he's not like that at Mayhem. It's his way or the highway at Mayhem.
The way he was explaining the affiliate model at WGS, I was literally walking my dogs, and I stopped and I said to myself, like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? You have an idea and we're going to implement it with those 50 affiliates? Wait, so you're going to have the WTF hierarchy plus 50 affiliates telling you what to do and how to run things? I was like, that's not going to work.
That's what I would do.
$2,000.
I mean,
no way. No way.
Yeah, there's levels of there's levels of things that I really appreciate from all those people who were there, whether it be Ben, Scott, Rich, Brian, Angelo. But that ended up being weird.
You think that Rich would actually listen to the WTF if they had a good business model and were trying to help out the athletes and like leave CrossFit? So he was just blowing smoke up his ass.
No, I mean, I think Rich is open to listening, but he should also it's one thing to be open to listening, but it's also to be like, hey, that's not the vision. Like the CrossFit needs a strong leader with a strong vision that's uncompromising, and the people who don't like it need to fucking leave. It's the nature of the fucking business. It's just that.
You know what I was thinking today? I was thinking grassroots CrossFit, because you were having a conversation with Greg and like how, Spotify and everything. Like if CrossFit had gone the way of like, you have to have a television with your scores inputted by the members on their phones, and you can't write it on the whiteboard, like I feel like I'd be out because that's not the way I grew up with CrossFit. And I feel like CrossFit is that, talking to the members, getting the scores, having a minute to talk about how the day was going. Like I came back from vacation and we had a grand old time talking about everyone's vacation and what we did with the families, with their friends and everything. And I feel like you said it yourself, you have to have someone that's running CrossFit, like not give a shit. It's this way or the highway. It's got to be the old guard, not anything new like corporate. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but like, let me.
There's no
my
need for corporate.
mom loves the fact that she can go into her gym, pull up her phone, see what the workout is, and then the app tells her what the last 3 times she did it and what her times were. My mom fucking loves that, and I think that's a great offering.
That's a great offering, yes, but you can't lose the sight of talking to your members about
I agree.
every day.
I agree.
And having a whiteboard brief instead of playing with the keyboard and the mouse and trying to explain the workout while you're trying to scroll up and down the television.
Hey,
that's got to be a no for me.
Hearing from the athletes how to run CrossFit is like asking a 4-year-old who goes to 7-Eleven every day and gets the same fucking Slurpee every single day from 7-Eleven how to run 7-Eleven. It really is equivalent to that. That's about their knowledge of how to run a 7-Eleven. They'd be like, well, more Slurpee machines. I mean, it is fucking retard world. Hey, was I not stepping back far enough in my a lunge? And if I wasn't, I appreciate you not telling me.
No, you were. Who said you weren't?
Someone said I wasn't. That when I step back in my lunge, my femur needs to be parallel to the ground.
It doesn't. You mean your shin needs to be vertical?
Oh no, they said I think they said my femur needs to be parallel to the ground. I need to step back far enough, not for safety reasons, but for muscle engagement.
I don't think they are taking into consideration, and this isn't a dig at you, that you are actually like 5'4" or 5'5".
5'5". Hey,
okay. but I when I saw you lunge, I thought your lunges looked great.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't any excess. I mean, a really good indicator is if your shin is like. Let me actually go back and watch the video. But if this is your knee and this is your ankle and it's like way over, that's a good indicator of that. Like you're probably not lunging the most efficient way. But I
5'5", fuck nuts. You really think I might be 5'4"?
Oh yeah, here, let's watch it.
Okay. Hey, by the way, hold on, pause this real quick. You fucking idiots that say
fine.
I have ADHD and I can't stay on subject. This is a fucking gift I have that I go back and forth between talking about pussy and femur position in a fucking backward lunge. So the show doesn't get boring, you fucking assholes. Okay,
oh, look, titties.
Play it. Oh, the lunge isn't shallow at all. And you can also see that you're stepping out into your lunge with a squat width. So you don't have this super narrow lunge, which is also good. You shouldn't be walking a tightrope. But everything looks good. You have 90-degree angles everywhere, dude. It's nice. Whoever's saying that's retarded.
Okay, I was a little concerned also. My squat wasn't low enough, some of them.
Yep. This is good, dude. Hey, you're not trying to fucking... That's a great squat. And look at your feet, dude. Look at the way your toes... Those are epic soles, man. Look at the way his fucking toes... Look, that's... Ever since I've been getting into more foot porn, like I can't help but notice it.
Hey, Jethro, what about that fucking cop? Is he getting destroyed now by when his friends see that video? Is he getting destroyed or is like
that's why I called, but I actually have a question for Taylor, but that video is the perfect example of what can go wrong when you have liberal leaders in your city implement liberal rules for anything that happened after George Floyd, and now the cops are afraid to do anything. You sent that shit to me, and I said, what the fuck is going on with this guy? This guy's going to get that guy's going to have his locker thrown into the street as of today.
I mean, it broke my heart,
I'm not
dude.
even kidding you.
It broke my heart in so many ways. I felt sorry for cops. I felt sorry for society. It really fucked me up.
And his partner, none the better.
Yeah, she should have just took on her billy club and beat that dude.
And that's what she should have done. She should have backed him away. In the effect of any type of police work, if you do anything like that, you lock them up. You tell them 3 times, back up. Just because you have a uniform on and just because you have a gun doesn't mean people are going to listen to you. you got to be. Oh man, that was bad.
It was a pool boy. It was a video we showed earlier where a guy's just treating a cop like shit.
Dude, I saw this. Was it you who sent the video? Somebody sent a video of like these fucking little kids just fucking whacking on a cop, just beating the shit out of him. They weren't actually beating him up, right? These were like toddlers, like 2-year-olds, just like fucking naked in the street, just fucking punching.
I didn't send that, but I've seen that.
And not
with the
listening
parents,
to him
with
at
the
all.
parents right there watching.
Dude, I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Is Taylor live right now?
Yeah, he's sitting here. He's sitting
Hey,
with us.
Yo, Taylor, that was awesome behind the scenes. That was the first time you ever did something like that?
Yeah, that was me and Bryson's first. She was our first. Mayhem was our first. I beat the walls off it, didn't I? We beat the walls off that thing, didn't we, dude? We lost our virginity to Mayhem, and we fucked the shit out of her, bro.
Raw
That was
dog,
like,
no condom, nothing, just raw dog.
That was good the way you did it. Like, it was like old school, like camcorder style. Like, you kept putting the camera to you, putting the camera to them, having conversations. It wasn't like interviews. It was like conversations. That was like really good.
Thanks, man. We're gonna try to do some more stuff like that at TFX, and then also NorCal, and then probably Syndicate as well. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of things to do to Syndicate, but we're gonna try to do it everywhere.
And Bryson and Taylor were exactly like the first time arrogant filmmakers that I had to deal with my whole life. They're like, don't put it behind the paywall. We want more eyeballs on it. We want more eyeballs on it. I was like, oh God, it's Heber and Mars too. Jesus Christ. No, put it behind the paywall.
Hey, but me and Bryson aren't looking to make a fucking, we just fucking love. This is the thing. Somebody, maybe it was Wilson was talking to me and he was like, dude, you're doing so many things. You're like an athlete, you coach an affiliate, you have Sentinel, you made this behind the scenes.
You're
like,
a great husband.
What would you say that? He was like, what would you say like your general like top things are? I was like, I don't know, dude. I just love CrossFit. So like every opportunity that comes along, it's like, I just want to do it because it's fucking so cool. Yeah. But I don't ever envision, we just want to make cool ass fucking YouTube videos for Sevon's channel.
Who do we think Danielle Brandon was talking to in her stories? Oh, let's do that while we have that here. I want to play that Jordan Peter. Thank you, Jethro. You're the man. Always a great resource.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you, buddy. Bye.
Don't ass rape anyone, but let's bring up Danielle Brandon while I'm on the show.
She's hot. She's cool. She's good for views.
You're triggering me, Caleb. Because you have nicotine in your mouth, I can tell.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Damn,
nope.
Dude, it looks like it. You should have a crooked mouth. My mouth is crooked.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Not that.
You need to love yourself.
Is that not it?
Not that. Not that.
I just want to say.
Here we go.
I want to give y'all my 2 cents.
Hold on. Pause it.
Already?
What's all over her face? Did she get a sunburn? Is that aloe vera?
Yeah, dude. She's got to moisturize, bro.
What the?
She's in those. She's out in the sun all day.
It looks like she looks like a fighter. Hold on. She looks like a fighter who just got like fucking
moved up.
Just got stuck a bunch in the first round in the cut. Man.
I just want
Vaseline all over her face.
Yeah, round 2.
Okay, next. Sorry.
I want to say, I just want to give y'all my 2 cents. While I'm all for calling out some BS, like, I love it. I love putting people on blast sometimes when it's like.
Big fan.
Real quick, Travis from Vindicate. See her shirt right there, how it's like faded like that? I want a shirt like that that's like faded, but the image on the back is Jesus wearing the crowns. Wearing the crowns or the crown?
The crown of thorns.
The crown of thorns, yeah. But it's like really faded in the back like that. But a white shirt with like kind of like it looks like it's dirty. Okay, sorry.
If you're gonna say something that's stupid, I'm gonna use this platform and kind of call it out. What I do find absolutely pathetic, though, is these people who think they're adding value to the world with their platforms, just constantly searching and looking for ways to call people out.
Oh my God.
Oh, is she talking about Jenny?
Yawn. Who fucking knows, dude?
It's literally such a pathetic life. Like, I could not imagine using my platform solely for that.
And yet here you are.
you're creating just like such a negative space. And if you don't think so, look at your comments. Look at all the comments on all of your posts. Negative, negative, negative.
Hey, the other thing.
It can't be Jenny because her comments are all so positive.
Right. The other thing about Danielle is you don't put anyone on blast. You've never added someone in your fucking life. You're like that passive aggressive 4-year-old who subtweets. All you do is subtweet. Shut the fuck up with that.
God,
she just blocks people. She doesn't say anything about them, just blocks them. I've said nothing bad about Rad, and I get blocked.
It looks
anyway.
like she rubbed KY jelly all over her face. Petroleum jelly.
I love her.
You know, and while I'm on it, I saw.
And while I'm on it.
That's what Haley said to me last night while I'm on it.
Oh, while she was on that pole, dude.
And while I'm on it, can you do the laundry in the morning?
I said, while you're on it, make me a sandwich.
Some comment saying like, why does Danielle handle her social media? Maybe she should have somebody else handle it if she can't handle the comments. You know, she blocked me. One, I will say it again, and I will continue to say it until it gets through some of y'all's thick skulls. I can block whoever I want. And also, can you imagine your girlfriend coming up to you or a friend, anyone, and saying, dang, look at these comments about me. And you as the friend just going, suck it up. Who cares? Brush it off. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
I can imagine.
Yeah, I'm supposed to just sit here and read all these negative comments and you're going to act like they don't affect me negatively in any way. Yeah, some days are easier than others. I can brush it off. They're pathetic. But nobody, and I mean none of you, would want a platform where you're constantly reading negative comments. You wouldn't want that. I promise you. Also, before y'all ask why my face is...
Isn't that what...
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I know. I know, but isn't that... Hold on. Isn't that what Reddit's all about?
Dude, Reddit
Just hiding behind a platform and talking shit about people.
Yeah, it's a fake handle where you probably also use that handle to buy child porn. Your credit card information might get stolen. We know how it goes for people.
Hey, after watching that Jordan Peterson video that we're about to play, I realized everyone on Reddit's a fucking psychopath narcissist.
100%. Hey, dude, do you think her eyebrows are tattoos or that's real hair?
No, they don't look like what's her face? Grace Walton.
I wish she was doing this in a bathing suit.
No, dude.
I'd probably listen if she was.
The crimson chin strikes again. Let's go.
Okay. She's talking about the lube on her face here.
It is right now. I freaking shower and I glaze my face like a donut.
I glaze people's faces too.
I bet you do. I bet she does get glazed.
When I'm out,
I just glazed Brian's face. You guys go check out my last reel. Brian looks just like this right now, dude. I swear to God.
Does she know? Someone grab that. I glazed my face. Oh,
like a donut. Oh God.
Oh shit, dude.
panicking. You can't even tell.
Oh my God.
It's so deep. You can see how deep it is.
all right, fine. You got glazed. Okay, you glazed yourself. I've never glazed myself on accident. I wish I could fire like that.
Outside the gym, I don't want to be crusty, and I got a dry ass face, so I got to take advantage, and I'm going to be glossed up. Don't be hating.
Why wouldn't she just call? Did she not want to call out whoever she's talking about because she doesn't want to give them?
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's Patrick Bateman, dude.
She's got a glizzy face.
That's Christian Bale, isn't it?
Patrick Bateman. He's the American Psycho.
Oh.
But yes, that's Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
Damn, he really did get covered in petroleum jelly for that. Petroleum jelly.
All right. Well, thank you for Danielle for entertaining us. Okay, we're gonna play this Jordan Peterson video. You cool with that, Taylor?
Yeah, let's fucking let her rip.
Okay, let her rip.
We're gonna have to play the whole thing.
That's fine.
Okay.
This is sit back and enjoy this one, people. Get out your pencil and paper. This one's worth taking some notes. Here we go.
All right.
The problem is that 4 to 5% of the population, something like that, is cluster B, that's the DSM-5 terms, histrionic, narcissistic, antisocial, psychopathic, or they have dark tetrad traits. They're Machiavellian, they're sadistic. That's about 4%. Okay, so The question is, how do these people maneuver? And the answer is they go to where the power is and they adopt those ideas and they put themselves even on the forefront of that.
Right.
But the ideas are completely irrelevant.
Right.
All they're doing is they're the Pharisees. They're the modern version of the Pharisees. They're the people who use God's name in vain, right? As they proclaim moral virtue.
Yes.
Doesn't matter whether it's right or left or Christian or Jewish or Islam. They invade the idea space and then they use those ideas as false weapons to advance their narcissistic advantage.
Yes.
And so then you have the problem, and the right's going to face this more and more particularly, because the left had to face it when they were in powers.
Yes.
How do you identify the psychopathic parasites, 4% of the population, who are clothed in your clothing and
Right.
waving your flags,
Right.
but who are only in it for narcissistic benefit? You know, the people who studied the dark triad, these were people who originally studied psychopaths, and they moved into ordinary personality, so to speak, on the fringes. They showed that the non-criminal psychopaths, so the fringe cases, are Machiavellian. They use their language to manipulate. They're narcissistic. They want unearned reputation. That's what a narcissist wants. And they're psychopathic, which makes them predators or parasites. Okay, that's pretty bad, those three things. But they had to expand the nomenclature after a while because they found that they were also sadistic, which implied that if you're Machiavellian and narcissistic and psychopathic, you develop a sufficiently bad view of your fellow man that their undeserved pain is a source of pleasure to you. And that's what's being enabled online.
Yes.
Like, see, because we've evolved real specific mechanisms to keep such things under control in face-to-face interaction. Lack of anonymity, for example, within a community. Psychopaths in the real world, they wander. They have to move from place to place because people who
Right.
figure out who they are, and they're held responsible. They're particularly held responsible by men. But online, they escape from that. They escape from that protective, they escape from that system of constraints, and they have free reign, and they can find other people like them very rapidly, and they can gain.
It's wild.
That's weird.
Did you ever hang out with old dudes when you were young? Like when you were like 18, hang out with like 35 and 40-year-old guys? Taylor?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a bunch of friends? Yeah. I was tripping on that the other day because when I was younger, I hung out with a lot of old guys, more so than all my, when I went to college, I had 2 groups of friends.
That's
I
all
like
AA was for me as like a high schooler.
hanging out with old guys, like the 30 and 40-year-old crowd.
When I was in high school, I got my truck taken away. And my friend who was sober, I was like, I hung out with him every day. He was 35 and he let me borrow his Ninja 636 for like a month. So I rode his motorcycle to school every day. But I would only hang out with like those guys who were like sober and older.
It was weird. When I was younger, I hung out with, starting like in end of high school, I hung out with a ton of old guys and went all the way through college. And now I just hang out with young guys.
What is that? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know what it means, but I just found it. I thought it was interesting. I just thought it was interesting. Like at night when my friends would go out and party or do other shit, like I would go hang out with like old homeless guys or whatever. Or like, you know, when everyone else was done doing what they did, I would go to the park and hang with old guys. Or like at the coffee shop, I always hung out with old guys. And by old, I meant like they're 29 and I'm 18. You know what I mean?
I always, this is what I always attributed it to. Honestly, though, like it means you have daddy issues from Pool Boy. I always attributed it as my dad died when I was 16, and I probably needed and wanted a father figure at that time more than any other, and I didn't have one, so I was always like trying to fill that role. So that's how I attribute it to. I was always looking up to other dudes who maybe had what I wanted, or I don't know.
I don't know if I looked up to them. I mean, fuck, most of them weren't much to look up to.
Looking back, looking back, maybe they weren't, but at the time, I definitely looked up to them.
No, I don't. Someone feels like he needs to mentor these kids, like old folk. No, I don't feel like that at all. I don't feel like I would never. The only thing that I should mentor people on is having kids, and no one wants to take me up on my services.
Oh shit, Yash just followed me on Instagram. Stinky Yash.
What do you think about Yash's picture?
I just followed him. He looks like that on Instagram. This is his fucking IG fucking profile, bro.
Oh, okay. He looks more normal there.
Why doesn't he just use that one for his YouTube?
Yeah.
Looks way better.
Yeah.
Eat your damn fucking eggs.
This one looks like it's gay porn, doesn't it? Like this one's I get a little aroused.
No, it looks like a mugshot.
Oh. Well, I'm into prison men.
That makes sense.
Someone commented on my reel and said, "The bell rang, children. Time to go to class." And I commented back. I said, "I'm a dropout." Dumbass. Get it right, motherfucker.
Hey, Yash says that was fast, Taylor. Taylor has a Neuralink, and it's just strictly his Instagram, straight to his front.
He just blinked and he just followed you back.
Yeah, frontal
Dude, I
cortex.
should get one of those. Can you get those still?
Not yet.
You blink and something happens?
They're still putting them in pigs or llamas or whatever.
Do you have to blink really hard like that? Do you have to just go?
Yeah, usually that's how it works. Yeah. That's what I heard.
You just scroll through porn, blink.
I called
Next.
this
Preview.
Do you know what a bonded router is, Caleb?
No. I saw you guys talking about it. I guess I understand it conceptually, but I'm not sure exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I called this company yesterday. I need to call them today as soon as we get off the air. But basically, I think I looked up this product. It's called PepLink, and then I called their like local distributor, and they basically, I think what we're gonna have to do at NorCal is we're gonna have a router there. It's called the PepLink router, and you hook up 2 Starlinks to it, and then a couple SIM cards.
Oh shit.
And somehow that makes it so you can stream from out in the middle of fucking nowhere without losing picture quality. I hope it fucking works. I'm getting really nervous. I'm getting really nervous about NorCal.
Dude, we're gonna destroy NorCal. It's gonna be fucking sick.
Well, we're gonna destroy it, but it might look like Zelos games if we're not careful. I guess worst case scenario, we just get one Starlink and stream it in 480. I don't fucking know.
Hey, you know what I also want to do? I didn't even think about this. We're gonna make it. Me and Bryson are going to the Masters games late summer, and we'll make a behind the scenes for that too. A fucking crazy one.
Oh, that would be good.
We have 6 at least.
What have you done for the community?
We have at least 6 Sentinel athletes competing at Masters games. So we're gonna go and coach them and do a BTS.
Oh, that's cool. Shit. Did you see Sprague's dad went?
Oh, did he really? Oh, I'm gonna get so much of Sprague's dad.
Yeah, he's cool as shit. You made a
Speaking of dads.
Oh shit. I just looked at your post.
It's got a lot of views. Speaking of dads, dude, we were talking about having kids the other day. It's already got 7,000 views. I posted it less than 30 minutes ago.
What?
We were talking about dads the other day, and Bryson made this joke that I was gonna have to start drinking again if I wanted my kids to be as good at burpees as I was.
I don't get it.
I was like, dude, there's like you have to be kind of a fucked up. Like you have to give your kids some hardship if you want.
You got to beat the shit out of your kids.
Yeah.
Or else they're not going to be good.
So
at
my mom was
burpees
like, "That's not true. Look at James Sprague." I was like, "Mom, James Sprague was an alcoholic until he was 13."
And his dad was.
Or sorry, his dad. Yeah, I was like his dad. Sorry. It's so funny.
What's wrong with you? If I had $1 for every person who asked me that about you, I'd retire.
Thank God he's not a financial advisor.
You are really talented at several things. You are living in a very small circle. You probably meant to send that to Miss Dents, right? Just so you know, the bridge between us is completely burned. You somehow have found, except through texting, you have somehow found a way to alienate anyone who's stuck their neck out for you. You wake up, the wake of bodies is massive, but somehow you think every one of those bodies is to blame. Do not try to kiss my ass anymore. If you come close, I'll poop in your mouth. If you're ever brought up in conversation, which isn't likely because no one cares about what. This whole thing just a text exchange?
Yeah, dude. It's long, but let's do it. It's good. You won't regret it. Come on.
If you ever brought up conversation, which isn't likely because no one cares about what you're doing, but let's say the stars align, you somehow are brought up, my response will be, he's not worth my time and I don't care to talk about him or anything he's doing. That's mature of you. I can't believe he's engaging in this. If someone said they'd poop in my mouth, I wouldn't engage with them.
He's retarded. He can't
Does
help
that
himself.
make me a pussy? Does that make me a
No,
pussy?
dude, you're smart for that. He can't help himself.
But if I have your attention as the elected official,
I should have just gone fast.
you have this set up for people who read slow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Then Brian responds, but if I have your attention as the elected official by the entire community who represents athletes, I have a couple of questions I'd love your insights on. The 30% drop in open participation in South America. Oh, so now he's just being passive aggressive.
Yeah. Check
The Audub CrossFit population's discontentment with CrossFit HQ. Listen, how about our discontentment with them fucking beheading women? Brian, how about why doesn't Brian? Do you know Brian now sounds woke? He was friends with us, he was not woke, and now he is crazy woke. It's all socialist shit. Oh, that shit was so embarrassing when they were talking about wanting government participation in sports. Dude, all the poor sports have government participation. I'm not talking about a city giving Wadapalooza $1 million to hold an event there. That's totally different. But all the sports where there's government participation, the athletes are poor as fuck. The NBA, NFL, NHL, those rich ones, no government. All the Olympic athletes, government. He's turned into a full-blown socialist. I was surprised Rich agreed with that. There were so many things that were embarrassing. What's being done to address the community of athletes hurting in Balkans, Mediterranean, and throughout Europe. Hurting? How is hurting?
Dude.
What has CrossFit been doing what to them? Sending them blankets with smallpox?
They've been hurting them, Savon, hurting.
Why are less and less athletes participating in CrossFit license in Scandinavia? What did athletes think about JR rejecting a complimentary live stream of Crash Crescendo? Oh my God.
Like a complimentary chocolate on your pillow at the hotel.
That's what I mean right there. That's the part that I can't believe he says out loud. What did the athletes think about JR rejecting? Like,
you know why we know why JR rejected that? Because no one wants to be around you, you fucking idiot. You're a cunt. No one wants. Last time Brian helped out at JR's competitions, he yelled at JR's wife and mine.
I remember hearing that story. That was crazy. And demanded that JR's wife go fetch his. Remember, he had a little whore with him, a little fuck bag, and he demanded JR's wife get her food or something.
Dude, like what?
Hey, this is crazy that that's the narcissistic shit I trip on. Does he not know how that sounds? Rejected a complimentary live stream. Like, hey, Brian. I wish I was in the room with Hiller right now. I wish I was in the room with Hiller. Hey, Brian is the kind of dude who claims he buys lottery tickets to help the lottery. It's like, no, dude, we're not stupid. You're buying it to fucking win the money. And like, you say the dumbest, craziest shit, dude.
We find out after the fact, Nick. Yeah, we find out after the fact. He yelled at JR's wife. He yelled at my wife. He yelled at Lizzie. And
what have you heard from CrossFit athletes who see CrossFit failing to administer well-run online qualifiers for the 5th consecutive year? Wow. What would you say to athletes who are, hey, go do something else if you think it's bad? What would you say to athletes?
I didn't even read that last part. I didn't even read that last part. Damn.
What would you say?
I missed that.
What would you say to athletes who are offended by you calling one of your own retarded in a public forum? Be offended. That's their right.
It's not my own. She's not American, and she's not a man, and I'm not a games athlete.
All athletes are one people, I guess.
Does he think that any of this stuff is valid or anyone gives a fuck?
No, he's doing the ultimate, trying to sling as much shit on me as he possibly can, which is fine. I'm dirty. I'm a dirty, I'm not some fucking clean, unscathed, innocent bitch. I'm a dirty motherfucker.
But he's like a crybaby. He reminds me of the kid at the park who's crying because there's not a swing for him.
Pat Langdon, Brian is listening right now. Brian is on his laptop jerking off to fucking illegal porn right now. If you think he's listening to us, chill.
What's being done to engage the booming affiliate and competition scene in South Korea? This is done to address the dying affiliate scene in China.
So this is the part that exposes the fuck out of him. He lists all of these problems. What's CrossFit doing to fix these problems? And then he goes, what's CrossFit doing for something that's going well. It's like, well, what do you want? Do you want CrossFit to be focused on fixing problems? It doesn't seem like CrossFit booming in South Korea is a problem that HQ needs to address and fix. What?
By the way, CrossFit's never been booming in China. It's always been a problem in China. It's always weird in Japan too. And this is why you'll go nowhere, into nothingness, with no notoriety, respect, admiration. Of all the things you yearn so desperately for, they will elude you. By the way, everything you've been trying to say eludes those you say it to. If you were a movie, I'd feel sorry for you. But since I've experienced your behavior firsthand, I'm ambivalent. You get exactly what you've worked for. I know you have to deflect negative comments onto me because you are completely inadequate in that position. Oh my God. I think you'd be great as a red shirt though, and that's worth pursuing for you. Thank you for your opinion. I'll probably ignore it because it's only worth 400 or 500 views. Thank you for such a constructive conversation. I hope you feel better about yourself for having it. I feel better now that you know what kind of conversations ensues when someone leads with what is wrong with you. Turns out that the conversation can go many different directions. For example, when people ask me that about you, I help them understand that you've had some challenging times in your life. He lets them know you're retarded.
No, you got to go back to that last part, dude. Come on. How did we skip there? Oh,
I don't know.
You're gonna have to just watch all the way through.
How come you made it? Don't make the same mistake I made. I wish I had listened to Sevon sooner.
Because, dude, I can't. The mistake I made was inviting him to Charlotte, finding him an apartment to live in, giving him that chance after he had already begun to burn bridges with you. And I was like, oh, I'm going to give this guy a chance. You know, maybe
I respected that you and JR were doing that, by the way. Just so you know, I respected that.
Maybe him being in a better environment would rub off on him, and that, you know, he'd not.
What
that
did
I
I
was trying
tell
to
you?
change
What
him
did,
at all.
what did I tell you about him? What did I say?
Dude, it wasn't even any one thing. It was just like, dude, all he cares about is himself. He'll fuck you over, you know, he'll do this, whatever. Like, this is what he's done. He thinks all he cares about is himself. Like, I think that was the emphatic, the emphatic.
Here it is. I just realized it. Here sums it up perfectly. Brian would go around and tell everyone not to come on my podcast. I would never have done that to him.
He asked you to pay him,
which I did,
to do a fucking show about frisbee golf.
Yeah.
What?
The amount of times I almost fell asleep in the middle of those while like clicking through various throws.
I'll tell you when to pause. Be quick, because you're going to pause it quicker.
I will.
Is innumerable.
Keep going.
Oh, right there. Pause it. You didn't read the rest of that.
Oh, right.
Example,
I feel better
when
now.
people ask me,
Turns out the conversation can go many different directions. For example, when people ask me about you, I help them understand. There it is again. Remember, he would always say he's defending us to other people. He would start, I had to defend you again. It's like, dude, you don't need to defend us.
Right.
I help them understand that you're retarded. No, sorry, that you've had some challenging times in your life that prevented your brain from developing fully, and therefore you lack control of yourself at times.
He just doesn't want to say retarded.
He means that, dude. He's trying to be sincere there.
No.
Yes,
there are places where he's trying to be sincere. Right here, he's trying to make me angry, and I'm just laughing.
They generally still don't excuse your behavior, but it provides at least a small amount of context of experience, empathy towards you. We are all flawed. Some people work on that. Some people hide from it.
This is critical. This is a critical point in the conversation.
And some people buy a large duffel bag and stuff it with dildos.
Oh, Brian's bag of tricks, buddy. Oh God.
Sorry, toys.
Hey Brian, no one's conspiring. Just so you know, to get you. No one's saying like anything bad about you. We just want to stay away from you, dude. Like you something's wrong. And I don't know what it is or how you fix it. But something's wrong.
He's fucking retarded.
If I were to sum it up in one word, you are the most profoundly selfish person that I've ever fucking met. You're the opposite of selfless, and it's exhausting. It's like it's like really you exhaust people. Like that's and it just is what it is. You know what I mean? You're like, wouldn't you say that sums it up pretty good?
Yeah, I do. Someone commented on my reel and said Brian asks his penis if it's okay before he beats it.
It's just exhausting, dude. It's just exhausting. There's no end to your taking. And so Sevon, I'm drying my hair for this selfie you mentioned like 6 times in 3 live streams. You're drying your you're drying your hair. Oh.
So
What do you mean you're drying your hair? I used to dry my hair when I was a little kid.
It's glazed right now. He had it all glazed up.
Yes. Do you own a blow dryer?
He probably has one of those Dyson air wraps.
God, I used to have a blow dryer in my house as a kid. I would use it. Do you remember that? Did your mom have a blow dryer?
Yeah, dude. I used to poop and just hose my butt off and then blow dry it.
You're not joking, are you?
I'm joking.
No, you're not. Hey, listen, all you listeners out there, Taylor's had a very challenging upbringing. Please excuse his
which has hindered the full development of his brain.
Dude, if my brain's not fully developed and his is, thank fucking God for that.
That's all. That's all. And hey, Brian, I don't honestly. This is going to be crazy because I don't want to argue your limitations, but I don't know if you can fix what's wrong with you. I don't know if you can teach being generous.
I think he's 40 or something.
Dude,
that dog's fucking beat.
I don't know if you can teach selflessness. It's I don't know if you can teach that, dude. And to tell you the truth, you seem pretty comfortable. Most people aren't like a healthy person is not comfortable being selfish because it's like a miserable existence for them. But you seem to be okay with it, to be honest. And it seems to like on some levels working for you. So I'm not even suggesting that you do change.
Do you know what I wish I still had?
What?
There would be times where he'd do something fucked up, and then he'd like send a picture to me of him like. And it was like a still shot of him crying, like ugly face crying. He'd be like, sorry, thanks for covering my class. I just had a horrible breakdown. And would like send me a selfie of him like ugly face crying. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this, dude? What?
You're kidding.
No, dude. I'm not the only one. JR's probably still got him. I actually just blocked Brian and deleted our text thread, but I bet JR, if you're listening, please search back in your photo text thread with Brian. See if you've still got some.
I'm surprised you didn't just save them and make a reel about every picture.
I made a meme of him one time, dude.
He used to when I was doing the podcast. He used to call people and tell people or be like, "Hey, you should ask Sevon to pay you." Do you remember that? Like, tell John Young and Tyler.
He told me and JR that he's like, "Sevon should be paying you guys." I'm like, "For what, dude? He's got like fucking 80,000 followers." And I've got I can't even fucking wipe my ass without getting in the shower. Why should I be asking Sevon for money? No, fuck you, Nick. Fuck you, Nick. We're not burying him. And yes, Jan, yes, he did. He sent pictures like.
What did Nick say? Nick, y'all don't need to bury him like this. Come on, you win. Okay, all right.
No,
I'm burying him.
Maybe this is just therapy for us.
It is. This is cathartic. You know what I was thinking as all this was going down? Is that holy fuck, how lucky am I that he left Charlotte relatively unscathed? I mean, he didn't, from what I know, fuck anyone at the gym and ruin any relationships like he did in Chicago. He didn't make like any weird sexual advances on people that probably would have been entirely inappropriate, which I've heard he's done at other places. He didn't, do any of this stuff to Andy and Dina and CrossFit Charlotte. Thank fucking God. But he definitely left me, Bryson Sentinel, in a fucking scorched earth wake. I paid the guy. I gave him a job at Sentinel. I paid him thousands of dollars for him to basically do fucking nothing and create an Excel spreadsheet of a competition that I ran. And for anyone to act like his friends were taken away from him. Dude, so many people stuck their necks out for him. Sevon paid this fucking guy. I paid him. I wasn't even making $3,000 a month.
That's crazy. I mean, with the podcast wasn't making money at the time we paid him too. Sarah Cox was nice enough to do that to help him. Hey, I want to say this too, real quick. There's these people who it's almost embarrassing. They say in the comments of the Mayhem podcast, they're like, "Oh, it's so glad that you guys are acting like adults and having conversations." That was not acting like adults. That was you know, I don't want to completely bury the Mayhem crew, but it was almost like two cowards coming together. And you want to talk about burying the hatchet and having conversations? Watch the behind the scenes that Taylor had, and the people he spoke to. Fucking Coach L. He spoke to the people that he's gone.
I talked to Cooper Marsh. I got a whole fucking interview with him. And if you don't believe me, you can ask Cooper. My audio is fucked up, but we're making an AI overlay.
That's talking to people. And I'll give Rich and the team a pass because I don't think they really understand, because they have their own universe over there. I don't think they understood what they led into the den. I really don't. So I'll give them a pass. But there's not the problem. Brian's accusing Taylor of deflecting when all he's doing is deflecting. Like, when has Brian ever cared about affiliates in China?
He just said on the Mayhem podcast he doesn't know anything about affiliates or training, and he doesn't care really.
Yeah, and so that was the thing. I became skeptical of Brian years ago when he would be little and act so rude during the shows. You know what's so funny? So I had family members who watched the show and they go, "What happened to Brian?" And they're like, "He belittles you and laughs at you." I'm like, "Oh no, that's his charm." And they're like, "No, dude, he's taking it too far." And I was just thinking,
shtick.
Yeah, I thought it was a shtick too. And then I thought my family members were just being defensive of me. And then friends started telling me that too. And I was like, wow, I don't see it. And I think my tolerance for it, I think I was just ignorant. I think because I can't imagine doing that to someone. I can't imagine someone doing it to me. So
I just can't get over that I paid him $100 fucking bucks a week of out of Sentinel to fucking, you know, do whatever, review notes or whatever. Like, I cannot believe that I did. He acts like he did all this for other people. When he moved there, he was like, "I'm so financially unstable. I don't know what I'm going to be able. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to be able to make ends meet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." I'm like, "Don't worry, dude. I'll make sure you have enough hours coaching at Charlotte. I'll give you a job at Sentinel. The Charlotte Classic is coming up. Well, you know, I'll find you a job to do there." Like, what? Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
now, yeah, same picture. I like your hair there. You're looking good, little Johnny Depp. Now, just maybe don't be frowning. Don't look like someone's about to diddle your butthole. You guys are bullies. Bullies.
My balls be aching.
Oh, you know what's another thing is he was out of town at a competition at one point, and one of our friends at the gym who was like house sitting for him got a notice in the mail that apparently he hadn't paid any of his rent since living in that apartment, and he was about to be evicted from that apartment. This is a 40-year-old fucking man we're talking about, and he's got a notice of eviction after being there for 3 months. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on with this dude?
Why didn't he just ask his parents? He's got 2 living parents.
Dude, if you were a 40-year-old person, period, and you don't have the mental capacity to remember to pay rent, or you can't fucking pay rent, and you want podcasts to pay you, you want to be in charge of a fucking live stream, buddy. Let me just explain something to you. And I don't know how to make it any clearer. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you can't even fucking pay rent at a single fucking bedroom apartment on the outskirts of Charlotte, not in Uptown, in fucking Matthews, North Carolina, motherfucker, you shouldn't be in charge of the goddamn live stream at Wadapalooza.
Or at Crash Crescendo.
Or at these fucking CrossFit license events in Scandinavia.
And not to get into specifics, but when do you remember someone losing a half dozen friends simultaneously? The thing is it wasn't even simultaneously. It was one by one. Everyone was like, "No, it's cool. No, it's cool. No, it's cool." And then everyone was like, "Oh shit, you were right. Oh shit, you were right." Like, all of us had to learn our own lesson.
I have one other story that I have to tell people, and I hope that I articulate it like perfectly. But when Brian moved to Charlotte, he was coaching and he was doing work for Sentinel. And then towards the tail
Hold on a second. Are you nervous, Caleb? I'm nervous as fuck.
Don't be nervous.
I'm tripping, dude. I'm tripping hard.
This isn't a bad one, but if I articulate it well, it'll just show how much of a piece of shit he is. If I articulate it accurately.
You think he's a piece of shit or he just has a blind spot? I always just think he has a blind spot.
I used to think he just had a blind spot. I used to think that, and that's why I think like maybe I can shed some light on that blind spot. But no, he's just a piece of shit. So he towards the tail end of his tenure in Charlotte, he was traveling a fuck ton at competitions. Meanwhile, as we just discussed, he was living in an apartment, a brand new apartment complex. It wasn't some old shithole. They have a mail room. They have those lockers where if you get a package delivered, they put it in that locker and they lock it. And one time he's out of town and he goes, "Hey, dude, I just got something delivered from like RX Smart Gear. Would you mind going and picking it up for me?" And I'm thinking, that's fucking weird. Like, why do I need to pick up your mail? But sure. So I go and I do the whole fucking code in the lockbox where his mail is. And I pick it up and I'm like, cool. Yep. It's just like a jump rope. You want me to like, put it in your apartment? He's like, no, just keep it in your car. I'll get it when I get home. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Like your car's safer than his lockbox?
Right. So it happens again. And I'm like, this is like a couple weeks later. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm coaching today. I can't do it. Maybe you should ask this other person who had been house sitting for him at the time. And then it happens a third time. Another time, he goes, hey.
I would hit my wife if she asked me to pick up the mail 3 times. Are you fucking kidding me?
He goes, hey, I got this package delivered. Would you go pick it up? And my response this time, third time's a charm, buddy, was, I'm not a fucking mailman. No. And he was like, I don't see how me asking a friend for a favor would warrant that kind of response, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that was his response. But now looking back,
brother.
Of course he wanted me to pick up his mail. He had a fucking eviction notices at his apartment and he knew it. And he's thinking they're going to steal his fucking mail and hold all of his mail because he's got this fucking eviction notice because he's not paying his fucking rent. And he wants me to pick up all this free shit people are sending him so it doesn't get taken. Yeah, bro, I'm not a fucking mailman.
Hey. Hey, there are things, you know what I hate? You know what I hate, Taylor? I'll tell you something I hate. I'm going for it's 6 a.m. I'm going for a walk. And I'm going to walk a mile to a coffee shop. And someone says to me, hey, can you bring me back a cup of coffee? And I always say no. And they say, why not? I go, I'm going on a fucking walk. I'm not walking back with fucking a hot cup of coffee in my fucking hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, get one in the fucking hotel lobby. Figure out your own fucking shit.
Right.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that fucking stupid shit that people could do for themselves and they ask someone else to fucking do it for them. I hate that shit. Hey, there was this little girl who walked up to my kid's flying a fucking remote control airplane, not a drone. Very difficult fucking thing to fly, right? At the park yesterday. It's not the remote control planes aren't something you ask your friend, hey, can I fly it?
How big was it? Was it like a big model?
Yeah, it's like this. It's big. It's fucking hairy. Like I won't ask him to fly it. I'm afraid like I'll fuck it up. And the wind's blowing it around. It's not like a drone at all. You have to be active at all times flying it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this little girl walks up to him and goes, can I have a turn? I had buddies. And I told her, I was like, oh, you have to practice on a computer first and get like 10 hours of flight time before you can fly it. My son was like panicked, like I was going to tell her yes. But I have this buddy, and there were these kids. You know those scooters? They have 2 wheels in the front, 1 in the back, and you can lean and ride them. Mm-hmm. And I would go to this park with my buddy all the time when I was younger, and there would be kids riding those, and his kids would want to ride them, and he would tell his kids, "Oh, go ask the kids if you could have a turn." It's like, dude, nobody wants to give up their fucking scooter when they're riding. All that does is make you an asshole. You just taught your kids how to be a fucking asshole. It's like that buddy of yours, every time you go out and eat, he says he's not eating, and your fucking soup comes, and he's like, can I taste it? He wants to taste your spoon, your soup with your spoon. You know who does that?
He wants to give you AIDS, dude.
2 people in my life do that, and I love them to death. Dave and my wife.
Dave eats out of your food with his fork?
Dude, we'll go to dinner, and he'll just, I don't know if it's an alpha thing or not, anything. And anything I'm eating, my wife has to come, my wife has to come over and have some. Anything.
I think it's just, yeah, my wife does that too, which is fine. But I feel like it's a military thing for Dave where he's just good if his buddy's got like cum and shit all up in his food, he'll eat it anyways because you never know when your next meal is going to be. Or he's got that Mexican food insecurity.
Like a steak comes from me, his fork, and I'll cut my steak, and his fork, I'll just see his fork come over and eat off my plate.
His fork come over. That's so gay, dude. I would be so pissed. I would throw my fucking steak at Dave if he did that. That would annoy
Dave
him.
owns you. Yeah, maybe it is that.
Listen to this. I've got a perfect example. I was at this minor league baseball game the other night with my wife, my mom, and my sister and her husband were in town. And we get to our seats. You know how those games are. There's like 30% of the stadium's filled. So we get there and there are people in our seats, and it's a guy and a lady and their 3 sons. And my mom's like telling the guy, like, hey, these are our seats. And the guy looks at her like she's being some crazy wild cunt. And I'm thinking to myself, 30% of the stadium's filled and you're not sitting in your own fucking seats, you dumb motherfucker. And you're getting angry at my mom for asking for her seats. So they end up fucking moving. And this guy's just fucking, keeps giving the look back. Like, and then him and his wife leave their sons there to go get food. And then these people come and the seats they moved to were still not their seats. And they make the 3 kids leave. The 3 sons are like 4. They're like 4 to 12 years old. And I'm thinking to myself, these parents left their fucking kids in not their own seats. And then this is the fucking final kicker. The fucking guy catches a fly ball and they're jogging off the field. And he's screaming, throw it to me, throw it to me. The dad's screaming this. And the guy throws it and someone else down in their lane catches the ball. And he goes, son, go ask him for the ball. He tells his fucking son.
Oh my God.
To go ask them for the ball, dude. And the kid goes and asks them and the guy gives it to him. And I think to myself, oh, the kid's 4. What are you going to do? Say no? It was crazy. That's Brian Friend.
At a minor league baseball game.
At a minor league game, dude.
That's
Minor league
fucking
game.
embarrassing having your kids do dirty work for you. I wonder how many parents do that.
A lot. All of them.
Crazy.
That's fucked up. That is.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful shirt. And maybe could the Jesus be faded more so he's not so yeah, that's a cool shirt. Could he be faded more where he's not so obvious?
Yeah, Brian should pay athletes to come on his podcast if he really cares about them.
I wonder if who's the new girl who's on his podcast?
No idea, but you know what? He probably can't afford to pay athletes all the fucking porn subscriptions he's subscribed to.
No one can afford to pay anyone. No one can even afford to pay them fucking selves. Hiller made a comment. That's the not being able to pay your rent is like the first thing about being a man or something like that.
It's pretty crazy.
That's so fucking.
You know what happened to me? Like, 5 years ago, I was like trying to compete Wadapalooza, and maybe 4 years ago. Well, fucking dude, 4 years ago, not even fucking 5 years ago. I'm like trying to coach every class at the gym to make enough money to pay my fucking rent. And he's like, dude, you can't coach every class, buddy. You're gonna get burned out. And people
Who said that to you?
Andy, my boss.
Oh.
You can't fucking coach every class. And it was, dude, I cried in this conversation. He's like, you can't coach every fucking class. Sorry, it's not a full-time job. You got to figure out another way to make money, but I can't pay you, whatever, XXX. And I had no idea what to do. And I was like fucking 24. He didn't say, I didn't even have from him. It wasn't even like, I'm going to give you all these extra jobs you can do to make enough money. It was like, hey, you can't coach every fucking class. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Brian's 40 and he still hasn't figured it out.
He's been on the run. He was in like witness protection.
Oh, he was in witness protection because he walked in on his wife getting the fucking walls beat off it by some fucking dude or girlfriend, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't believe you know what? I don't believe anything the guy says. Any story he's ever fucking said, I don't believe a fucking word of it.
Caleb, I came out of surgery yesterday with the wound. Hey, hold on, we'll come right back to and Brian. That they got used at Mayhem.
They got used for sure. And let me just tell you this:
they got their Brian fucking.
He ain't a virgin, buddy. Brian Friend is not a virgin.
Caleb, I came out of surgery yesterday with a wound inside my cheek. We're gonna have to know what kind of surgery to know for sure. Libya, did I bite myself while I was under, or did they do that to me?
Yeah, the doctor probably just stuck his wiener in your mouth.
That's what I was. Jammed his dick into your fucking cheek.
Yep.
Oh God.
You probably just bit your lip, dude.
And that's probably and we probably don't ever need to say anything else about this fucking guy again. I did this for the first time ever. I blocked him on every single one of my Instagrams. I blocked his phone number. I blocked Patrick Clark too. I blocked Chad Mueller. I blocked everything having to do with Be Friendly Fitness.
What don't you like about Patrick? I like Patrick.
Fuck Patrick. He likes Brian. That's what I don't like about him. Now, anyone attached to him, I kind of just want to have nothing to do with. Sorry.
Isn't that, but that's the way kind of like Medeiros is like with Hiller, like except for Jason Hopper and Sprague.
I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. I don't want anything to do with anyone near him. It's not that it's just some person who shook Brian's hand. It's passing. It's his fucking handler, dude. Patrick knows what kind of person Brian is at this point. And if he doesn't, that's even more of a reason I want nothing to do with Patrick Clark. I'm sorry. I'm sure Patrick is a great guy. No, I'm not sure that. If you are that heavily involved with Brian, I don't think you're a good guy.
I trip on their relationship, to be honest.
So it's just, yeah. It's not straight out of middle school, Mark Fuentes. I don't understand how.
That is kind of
funny, though. Okay. That is me saying that is straight out of middle school, but the sentiment and the substance behind that is not. Like, if you can't see the level of manipulation and lying and self-centeredness that is that person, then you're a dangerous person to be around. I don't want you anywhere near my fucking business. I don't want you near my friends. I don't want you near my wife. Stay far the fuck away.
I want to hear the conversation after Brian left. If Angelo and Rich and Scott Fuddrucker and Ben Davidson know like what they just witnessed. Like, I don't like when he gave the Jesus line, I have a message and they should be spreading it for me. Like, how did they not like fall out of their chair when he said that?
I think dude, if there's one person who I think smarter than, I mean, maybe we do give him credit for, but I can just see in Scott Vandersloot's eyes how fucking smart that guy is.
Yeah.
He definitely knows. Scott's probably the smartest person at Mayhem.
I wanted to bring up one more weird relationship too that I was been tripping on. I don't know what's going on, but what do you think about Cale Layman being HWPO? And I know they have like probably thousands of athletes, but do you think he's consulted with O'Keefe and Fraser? I know he showed up at that competition with an HWPO shirt. That's like, did they give him that for free because he was going there? Is he like, how are they tripping?
Dude, I know for a fact that O'Keefe told Cale Layman to ignore everyone that was asking him for videos, including Hiller, specifically Hiller.
Wow.
I know for a fact. Cale Layman told me. He said, "Oh shit, LOL. This is the exact advice O'Keefe and HOPO are giving me, is basically to ignore everyone and pretend like it's not happening."
You guys
I doubt Fraser gave him that advice, but I guarantee you O'Keefe did.
You guys don't. Anyone who's taking advice from them, don't take advice from them. They're not gonna. It's not gonna help you. They are so angry and frustrated with how things are going. They're like Brian Friend. They're so angry that they can't control what's going on, that they're going to give bad advice. They're always looking for cannon fodder to attack us. They want to argue with reality. They can't accept the fact that we exist in the space. And so, like, Cale, if you're taking advice from them, you have to know they're just using you. Like, nothing has to be heavy, guys. You can make it, Cale, you can make the situation as heavy or as not heavy as you want. If you want to take advice from someone, ask Ricky Garrard. He figured it out. Don't take advice from people who have enormous egos, who can't handle, who make everything heavy. Clip it. Did you fart?
No, I thought you were going to do something very different with that.
Someone goes, "Mate, it's a bad look to do this in public. Starting to look like a pylon trying to get him cancelled." And I responded,
No one's trying to get him canceled.
"Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I just never want to hear his face again." I said, "Stop." He goes on Mayhem and uses the platform to misrepresent us all as the bad guys. This is public and honest. So there you go.
Oh, someone just texted me and says Brian sounds like an addict. Delusional, neglects responsibility, losing friends.
Worse than that, Mel. Or sorry, it's not Mel. It's worse than that. I don't think he's just an addict. Addicts have some sense of self-awareness that they are the problem, and they use their fucking drugs to outrun that self-awareness that they are the problem. They're hiding from it because they know deep down that it's all their fault, and they run from it. Brian has 0, and I mean not even a fucking 0.00% of self-awareness that he is the problem. And if he is addicted to anything, it is probably that big fucking bag of dildos that he has.
Mel, what do you like about him? There's things I like about him too. What do you like about him? I'm curious. The thing is Brian really needs to just be kept like in a really narrow lane. He shouldn't be allowed to like, he could have been really successful if he didn't abdicate for himself.
Yeah, I don't even think that. I think Brian's the guy you need to put a fucking muzzle on and lock him up in solitary confinement for the rest of his life. He needs to be institutionalized.
Do you think that do you view K.O. Lehman as the same thing, like that maybe like O'Keefe that doesn't really care about him and he's just looking like basically these people don't have any tools or ammo. They have no way of dealing with us. So anytime they get a chance, you know what I mean? Like, like if you were throwing rocks at a bear and you ran out of rocks and all of a sudden you saw another one, you picked it up and you threw it. You think it's like that? That's how I kind of picture them.
I just think O'Keefe is like 100 years old, and not in a way where like he's actually just old, even though he is, but he's also like mentally and intellectually old. And I don't mean in a way where like,
but he should be wise then, shouldn't he?
He's not a wise. That's what I meant. I was just going to say. He's not a wise soul. He like has not adapted with the times. He doesn't understand this digital age that he's in. He doesn't understand that, hey, now more than ever, you cannot control the narrative. You just have to be you. And if you aren't, people are going to sniff it out. He hasn't understood. He can't understand that concept now. 10 years ago, he could make up whatever story he wanted. He's like Pfizer. He controls all of the media outlets and what they disseminate information about him and his group. And he has all of that control. And so everyone thinks that they're awesome and they're cool. And he controls all of the money in CrossFit. He controls all the opinions. And now there's this wonderful thing where everyone has a voice and they can come to their own conclusions and they can see the way you act and they can discern for themselves what's true and what's not. And he doesn't understand that. And he's still trying to control everyone's narrative. So he's old.
Get him on and let's hash it out. You can't hash it out. Didn't you see what happened?
Dude.
Didn't you see what happened to Rich and Angelo and Vandersloot and Mr. Davidson? They got fucking. They can't hash it out. And to what end?
Workout Taylor, what's workout 2 at Syndicate Crown? Workout 2 at Syndicate Crown is me glazing Brian Friend's face for everyone.
Did you even think about not saying that? Were you like, maybe I shouldn't?
No, I knew I was going to say that when I read the comment.
Mel, the thing is that I've had him on the show many times. I've had many conversations with him on the phone. People have been very kind and clear with him.
I sat him down, dude. When you guys were having your falling out, I fucking texted I called him. I was like, hey, dude, let's have coffee. And I sat him down at this fucking coffee shop called Brakeman's Cafe right by the gym. And I sat with him for an hour and a half, just me and him, away from everyone else. There's this business next door that sells pizzas outside. It's just a little hut, and you get a pizza, and you sit at a picnic table and eat it. And in the middle of the day, they're
What'd
closed.
you get? What pizza did you get?
We didn't get pizza. We got coffee, and then we walked over there because no one's over there, and we sat and we talked for an hour and a half, dude. And it was what I tried to do is I tried to say, hey, here are the things that have upset people in the group enough to kick you out of the group. It was right when he got removed from the group. This is when we had that coffee date. And I was like, this is why it happened. This is how they feel. I understand you have a side to it, but right now they aren't the ones on the outside looking in. You are. So if you want to make amends, and if you don't want to be on the outside looking in any longer, and you want people to forgive you, and you want this to fucking go away, and whatever, you need to just fucking, I remember telling him this specifically. don't fucking talk about Sevon. Don't talk about Hiller. My advice to you is to not apologize to anyone. They've heard it too many times. Just leave them alone for a year. You have done all of these things. You just need to fucking separate yourself, dude. Do your own thing. Put your head down. Go to work. And in a year, they will have forgotten about it. And if you've really changed, like at that point, likely everything will be fine. And you know what he does 30 minutes after that coffee date? He texts fucking Peter the same text that he sent to Tyler, the same text that he sent to John, the same one that he sent to
Oh, the
JR.
copy and paste.
It
I remember
wasn't,
that.
it
Yeah.
wasn't a unique message. It was a copy and fucking paste apology to Chase, to Bill. He sent it to all of them. And my one piece of advice, I didn't give him any advice except for this. It was don't fucking say anything to anyone. Leave them alone.
Someone should have told you should have told him that before he went on Mayhem. Hey, Matthew, what was the original fallout? I'll tell you. So there wasn't a cataclysmic event. It was that every time he got on the phone with every single person or talked to someone, he would tell you what he did for you. Like his shit didn't stink at all, and he was always letting you know what he did for you.
Goddamn, Hiller's fast.
Hiller, 516, buddy. You're not counting for Twitter and Facebook. I'm really disappointed in you. He was constant. Anytime you spoke to him, he would tell you how great he is, what he did for you, what he did for you. He was constantly telling you what he did for you. Hey, I introduced you to this person. I got you this. I defended you this. Like every conversation was like that. And it was fucking exhausting. And then finally, I even remember one time he said, hey, and this was kind of the naiveness. People in the group were already starting to get exhausted by him and tired by him, and is like always needing pick up my mail. Can I do this show with you? It'll be around this time. He would always say stuff. Don't ask me to do anything except talk about the athletes. He started having all of these rules and it was really weird. Like a band member who's like, bring me M&Ms and we only want the yellow M&Ms. It was getting really weird. And he even said this to me one time. He calls me and he says, and this is like by now, like, people are like, wow, Brian's completely out of control. He said, I have an idea. What do you think about me being in control of everyone in the media space, and I delegate who does what shows, so we don't have people doing the same interviews. So that way it wouldn't be like me and Pedro both interviewing Hatfield. And I go, why would you have that position? I go, you have the least influence, and you can't get people that I can get. He goes, well, I can get Tia. And I was like, oh shit. Wow. And he'll tell you that it was out of some sort of benevolent reasoning or some efficiency, but you don't anoint someone a leader. He wanted to be anointed some sort of leader. He wanted some sort of unearned recognition. And it was bizarre, and we all recognized it. It was exhausting. But it wasn't like one day it's like, hey, he fucked Sevon's wife, and so we all hate him. It wasn't like that at all.
It was things like that, and it was all the mail. It was all the times he tried to make me his mailman, and it was him not paying his rent, and it's
hundreds of stories like that.
Yeah, it's probably an understatement. It was him yelling at JR's wife, and then him yelling at Lizzie, and
you don't come back from yelling at someone's wife, by the way.
Him telling Bryson that, you know, whenever he sees a dog, he makes a point to not pet it because they always get everyone's attention, and he doesn't think they deserve any more attention. Like, it's all the little things like that.
Telling John Young and Tyler not to come on my show because he's fighting with me.
Telling me every chance that he gets that, you don't know how many times people reach out to me and they're like, you know, Taylor's such a bad guy, and I have to explain to them that it's not true. Oh,
too.
thank you, God. Thank you, God. God is great. God is good.
Yes, he would always say that to me too. I had to defend. That was one I got once a week. I had to defend you. I had to defend you. Yeah, it was crazy. You probably knew right away. Did you know right away, Caleb, that something was wrong?
Yeah, I had like from the get.
I feel like you and Sousa knew right away.
Yeah, because he would and because I tried to do the same thing and justify what he was doing. Like, okay, well, maybe this is just like his shtick because he was all like, it was very obvious that he had some sort of like disdain or like he would get really irritated with you.
Mhm.
But I thought it was kind of funny because you guys had that back and forth.
Yeah.
But then he started doing shit like that, like being more rude and more like irritated by it. I'm like, okay, this is not a shtick. This is just him being real. And then at one point I went to Rogue and he just like approached me and it started off as like a, hey, how's it going? And then it turned into him telling me about all the things he had done for like the community. And then like how he's like, oh, I always try to defend Sevon, and I always do like Sevon, he does a really good job of this and blah, blah, blah. But some people just find him to be this type of way. And I don't really, and so I have to tell people that it's for a reason. And like, you shouldn't really like, you should like him and all this other shit. And then, I just actually looked at my voicemails, and 2 years ago when all of this stuff started going down, he started getting like removed from group chats and stuff. He had actually called me, and I remember it was like the day after Christmas. I remember looking at it and being like, why would he be trying to call me? And then I just never answered. And then it went to voicemail, and then he left this voicemail. It was like, oh, just in light of some really weird things going on lately, I don't really know what you do for work. Or he was like trying to like be endearing to me or whatever. And
Yeah.
dude, I don't know what you think I'm going to do about it, but I'm not doing fucking shit. Sorry, dude. So I never called him back, and I never texted him back. And
You
and it
saved
just kinda
2
went-
hours. You saved 2 hours of your life.
Yeah. As soon as he started talking when I was at Rogue, I was like, oh God, I got to get out of here.
I like me. Who do you like? Brian Friend. Yeah. Taylor, I'm going down to 160 on a mostly plant-based diet, then up to 185 and 190, currently 175. Surprised you didn't roast me.
Well, when I went on a plant-based diet, my asshole grew labias, so I wouldn't fucking recommend it, bro. But if that's what you want to do, too. And they haven't gone away since. All I eat is steak and apples now, and they still haven't gone away, dude.
Oh my God.
I got to call in 3 minutes. I got to jump off.
Oh, jeez.
That's a good show. All right. That was it. You can watch the first part of the show and be smart, or the second half and get dumb. I love you guys. If you haven't used Watify, make sure you do. Change your life. Love you guys. Bye-bye.